Chapter 1. A Monster Invades the Campus. Awakening of Divine Powers. Morning, 9:50 a.m. University classroom. Chunyin sat in the last row by the window, a countdown hovering before him, visible only to his eyes. Mission completion countdown, 10 o'clock. Since his arrival in this world, he had received a mission from a system, survive for 3 years. Mission reward, random divine fragment. Now, at the age of 19, Chunyin was merely 10 minutes away from completing his task and claiming his reward. For a full 3 years, he had diligently trained to enhance both his psychological and physical resilience, obtaining a black belt in Taekwondo, all in anticipation of this moment. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, as long as he could endure these final 10 minutes safely, he would unlock his extraordinary abilities. What kind of mishap could possibly occur in a classroom? Chunyin's mind wandered to the scenarios that every boy had fantasized about. Perhaps a sudden zombie outbreak, or the apocalypse, a horde of monsters descending upon them. Forget school, he yearned to become a hero in this new era. The thought made him chuckle. Was it even possible? Merely the musings of a delusional mind. After 3 years in this world, he had yet to witness any abnormal occurrences. Just as his thoughts drifted, he suddenly noticed the sky outside darkening. An eerie cloud cover swiftly enveloped the heavens, ominous red lightning swirling within the clouds, the air cloaked in a dim gray filter, robbing the world of its color. A palpable sense of impending doom loomed. No way is this for real. Chunyin was not alone in perceiving this anomaly. His classmates, not blind to the situation, erupted into chaos. What's happening? Why has the sky suddenly turned like this? Could be a torrential downpour? I've never seen such a bizarre sky before. Chunyin abruptly rose to his feet, for he had seen the automatic sliding doors at the entrance get violently flung open. A grotesque, dark green monster charged in, its body covered in moss-like scales, muscles bulging and sinewy, resembling a cinematic behemoth. Like a rampaging war machine, it sent several students sprawling across the plaza, crashing heavily onto the concrete floor, blood oozing from their wounds. Chunyin, please do not blatantly disregard classroom discipline. The teacher's reprimand rang out unexpectedly. There's a monster that has broken in. I suggest you immediately organize a safe evacuation and contact the authorities. I'm not joking. With that, Chunyin dashed out the back door of the classroom without a glance back. Laughter erupted in response. Has Chunyin dozed off and lost his mind? Is he just trying to attract attention? He could bite a lighter if he had nothing better to do. Just as the uninformed students continued their mockery. Roar. The monster's roar echoed from downstairs, and the smiles on their faces vanished abruptly. There's a monster. It's real. It's really here. The classroom descended into utter chaos. The hallways were flooded with fleeing students, screams and cries reverberating throughout the building. Chunyin chose to flee upstairs. The classroom was on the 3rd floor, and the rooftop was on the 7th. Hiding on the rooftop, we endure the final moments. Who knows what has transpired here? It bears a striking resemblance to the underworld depicted in horror films. The underworld appears much like the surface world, but is fraught with peril and inhabited by lurking monsters. Many students share Chunyin's sentiments, as throngs of them madly converge upon the rooftop. The iron door, serving as the sole exit, is jammed with bodies. What on earth is happening? Damn it! Why has such chaos erupted in our school all of a sudden? Within mere minutes, nearly 100 individuals have gathered on the rooftop. Chunyin does not believe that hiding here guarantees safety. He scans the surroundings, considering the most dire escape strategies, determined to endure the remaining moments. The monsters are relentlessly advancing. Hurry. Shut the door. If we don't close it soon, we're all doomed. Indeed, close the door. As the students prepare to lock the iron door, several female classmates rush forward, desperately bracing themselves against it. Don't shut the door. Let us in. We beg you. One of these girls is Xieyun, a classmate of Chunyin. Not long ago, she was among those mocking him, but upon realizing the gravity of the situation, she too fled in terror, tears welling in her eyes. Let us in. Once the last few female students are allowed entry, the boys guarding the door swiftly lock it and pile various objects against it for reinforcement. Upon entering, Xieyun immediately spots Chunyin. Anger surges within her as she strides toward him, her voice sharp with accusation. You selfish coward. only caring for your own escape while leaving us girls behind. You didn't even bother to help us with a few kind words. Chun Yin retorts with a cold smirk. When I warned about the monsters, your laughter was hardly subdued. Was it? Why didn't you explain the situation more thoroughly? We nearly got trapped outside because of you. Her ire escalates, and she raises her hand to slap him. But her wrist is suddenly seized in midair. Chun Yin, what are you doing? Let go. You're hurting me. In the next instant, he grips her hair and forcefully slams her head against the concrete wall. Thud. Blood trickles down her forehead. Does it still hurt now? If you keep shouting and attracting the monsters, I won't hesitate to silence you permanently. With that, he carelessly tosses her aside, and the surrounding classmates rush over to help the bloodied Xie Yun to her feet. A tall boy stands up abruptly, glaring fiercely at Chun Yin. How could you bully a girl like that? You've gone too far. I am indeed excessive. What will you do about it? I can't stand this. The boy swings his large fist, intent on defending Xie Yun and asserting his dominance. Chun Yin sidesteps and delivers a knee strike to the boy's chest, then trips him to the ground. With a foot firmly planted on the back of the boy's head, Chun Yin looks down impassively. If you can't stand it, then simply don't look. These individuals are no match for Chun Yin. His 3 years of training have not been in vain. Moments later, the classmates sense an eerie stillness descending from below. The sounds of screams and cries have vanished entirely. The ominous footfalls of the creature drew ever closer, ultimately halting before the iron door at the rooftop entrance. Bang! A conspicuous fist imprint marred the steel surface. The students recoiled, their eyes wide with terror as they gazed at the door, hands clasped over their mouths, too afraid to breathe. Bang! 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 With each resounding thud, the iron door buckled outward violently. For the immensely powerful beast, breaching the door was merely a matter of time. Each impact resonated like the tolling of a death knell. Xie Yun glared at Chun Yin with her bloodshot, vengeful eyes. If you were a man, you would block that door instead of bullying women. Chun Yin, however, was too preoccupied to heed her words. After enduring 3 years of torment, he had finally completed his task. Task completion countdown, midnight. Congratulations on completing the hidden task. You have received the reward, Divine Fragment. Would you like to activate it now? Yes. In an instant, Chun Yin's consciousness spiraled into chaos, as if he were seated upon a throne of blood, a river of crimson flowing beneath him, amidst countless corpses. Divine Essence God of Slaughter has awakened. Please draw the authority of this deity. Within the realm of his consciousness, hundreds of cards materialized around him, revolving in an erratic dance. Without hesitation, Chun Yin flipped one over. As the card turned, golden script instantly emerged. Authority Sequence 003 Blood Monarch Unique. Primary effect Blood Mastery. Control your own blood and transform it into any form. Secondary effect Royal Bloodline. Ignore all pain. Immune to death from excessive blood loss. Accelerated wound healing. Secondary effect Hunting Desire. Killing monsters increases blood potency permanently by 1, with additional boost for slaying formidable foes. Secondary effect Divine Resonance. For every 10 increase in blood potency, receive Divine Gift, allowing the drawing of sequence abilities or talents. Extraordinary power. Indeed, it appeared remarkably formidable. Let's test its efficacy. Chun Yin raised his index finger to his teeth, a bright droplet of blood immediately welling forth. With a mere thought, the droplet transformed at his fingertip into a slender, sharp spike. This ability was not only useful, but immensely powerful. Just as Chun Yin reveled in his newfound strength, bang, the rooftop iron door was flung open. The grotesque, dark green creature surged inside, akin to a wolf among sheep. Screams filled the air, a cacophony of terror. One frightened boy, paralyzed by fear, leapt from the top floor, choosing certain death over being torn apart by the monster. It was a werewolf. Divine Series task initiated. Current task: slay any demon or monster. A smile crept across Chun Yin's lips. Splendid. A perfect opportunity to test my abilities. As everyone else retreated, Chun Yin surged forward, snatching a fruit knife from a nearby boy's hand. I'll borrow this. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Against the wall, several women trembled in fear, their eyes wide with terror, the white socks and checkered skirts splattered with blood. Don't come any closer. Help! Mom! No, no. The demons paid no heed to their pleas for mercy, striding forward with powerful strides. "Hey!" came Chen Yin's voice from behind. A fragment of rock flew from his hand, tracing a parabolic arc through the air. It struck the creature's broad back with precision. Had he lost his mind? In that moment, everyone shared the same thought. Chapter 2. Joining 749, receiving the survival mission, the demon paid no further attention to the terrified girls who had collapsed in fear. Instead, it redirected its focus, evidently incited by Chen Yin's provocation. A flicker of ferocity ignited in its gaze as it charged towards Chen Yin like a frenzied war chariot, causing the rooftop to tremble beneath the weight of its heavy footsteps. In a moment of desperation, Chen Yin slashed his wrist with a fruit knife. Blood erupted forth in a vivid spray, momentarily suspended in the air before coalescing into a crimson longsword, which he grasped with unwavering determination. As the demon bore down upon him in an instant, Chen Yin swung the blade with utmost precision. With a sharp crack, the blood sword carved a crescent arc, severing a grotesque head that rolled several times before finally coming to rest at Xie Yun's feet. "Ah!" She let out a piercing shriek, collapsing to the ground, her hands clutching her head in sheer terror. The blood sword reverted to its liquid form, flowing seamlessly into Chen Yin's body. As the wound on his wrist began to mend at an astonishing pace. Divine task completed. Blood strength permanently increased by 6, by vanquishing the demon. The effect of hunting desire is activated, granting an additional permanent increase of 2 to blood strength. As blood possesses the remarkable ability to transform into any weapon or armor, an augmentation in blood strength signifies enhancements in both offensive and defensive capabilities. With each monster defeated, Chen Yin could elevate his blood strength, thus amplifying his combat prowess. Moreover, with every 10 enhancement in his blood strength, he would earn the privilege to draw cards. More monsters vanquished translated into greater opportunities for acquisition. The tantalizing prospect of infinite draws ignited a thrill within him. With a burgeoning comprehension of this newfound prowess, Chen Yin experienced an exhilarating surge. The onlookers regarded him with incredulity. He vanquished that monster? Thank you. Thank you for delivering us." One young woman, still quaking from the harrowing experience, wept as she articulated her profound gratitude. With a singular blow, he dispatched the creature. Chen Yin possesses such extraordinary capability. Had it not been for him, we would surely have met our demise. Grateful glances were continually cast upon Chen Yin, while the previously prostrate Fei Yangyang stood in a stupor, his mind a blank canvas. The sharp agony in his chest served as a somber reminder that this was no mere cinematic spectacle. Blast it! I am fortunate he did not employ that technique against me. What was I thinking, defending a woman who could not appreciate it? Before long, the foreboding clouds evaporated. The lightning subsided, and the sky restored its resplendent azure hue. The stifling atmosphere that had pervaded the air lifted, as though they had ascended from the depths of the inner world back to the surface realm. Chen Yin contemplated. Nevertheless, the lives extinguished remained irrevocably lost. At that moment, a man adorned in tactical attire surged onto the rooftop. Upon his arrival, he halted, his gaze transfixed in disbelief at the sight of the demon's lifeless form sprawled upon the ground. He had come to effect a rescue, oblivious to the fact that the demon had already been vanquished. This was a second-tier green giant corresponding to the second realm of psychic practitioners, mountain moving. Even he would have encountered a fierce struggle, yet he was bested by a mere university student? Surely this was a mockery. His gaze was instantly drawn to Chen Yin, who distinguished herself among the trembling students, exhibiting an extraordinary composure amidst the turmoil. Nevertheless, this was not the opportune moment for dialogue. The man promptly alerted the cleanup team. Quickly attend to the injured. Erase memories where necessary. Comfort the families, have them sign confidentiality agreements, and ensure that all subsequent matters are meticulously addressed. Before long, everyone was escorted away by the team, save for Chen Yin. Greetings, I am Zhou Lin, an intern investigator from 749. 749? Upon hearing this intriguingly enigmatic designation, Chen Yin raised an eyebrow. They are an organization dedicated to the management of supernatural occurrences. Chen Yin, did you slay this creature? Would you believe me if I claimed I did not? Chen Yin shrugged nonchalantly. Remarkable. Zhou Lin could not refrain from commending her. Then inquisitively inquired, Chen Yin, have you truly just awakened? Awakened? Suddenly, a flame ignited in Zhou Lin's palm. He too possessed extraordinary abilities. Individuals such as myself are referred to as spiritual energy users. One may awaken at any moment, and upon awakening, one invariably acquires a sequence ability. For instance, I belong to the Fire God series, sequence 78, Flame Sphere. Most individuals can only obtain sequence abilities ranked from 11 to 100. While only a select few can attain the top 10 sequences, these chosen ones are known as the Divine Chosen. Naturally, we can also cultivate additional techniques and martial skills to aid in combat, with sequence abilities generally reserved as our trump cards. Chen Yin did not deny the reality of his awakening. He then inquired, what precisely just transpired? Why did the sky suddenly darken? And how did the monster manifest? Zhou Lin, what is the situation? Another woman clad in a black uniform hurried over. I received an urgent dispatch and came here. Has it been resolved? It has been resolved, though not by my hand. Zhou Lin cast a glance at Chen Yin. This is Chen Yin. He has recently awakened and has astonishingly vanquished a second-tier ogre. Truly remarkable. How extraordinary, young one. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Zhao Qian, an intern at 749 and a graduate from 2 years past. You were undoubtedly curious about the unfolding events, were you not? Zhao Qian, you elucidate while I prepare a succinct report for the Bureau, Zhou Lin instructed. Zhao Qian cryptically remarked, Inverse world. This denotes a realm that mirrors our own reality with exactitude. It resembles a reflection in a mirror, yet it brims with demons and monsters. This institution has encountered a rift, which, in layman's terms, signifies that a fissure has manifested between the two worlds, leading to a disordered amalgamation. Chen Yin contemplated, so we have faced monsters from the inverse world, and all will return to normal once the rift is sealed. Astute observation. Your understanding is truly impressive, Zhao Qian observed with sigh. Nevertheless, such circumstances are exceedingly uncommon. I never anticipated our alma mater would endure such a disaster. Therefore, you at 749 are adept at managing such occurrences and cultivating users of spiritual energy. Am I right? Indeed, becoming a part of 749 brings with it substantial advantages. A base salary of 30,000, complemented by performance bonuses, is offered alongside specialized training facilities and instructors dedicated to guiding your development. Additionally, there are avenues for exchanging various techniques and martial skills. Upon attaining the status of a formal investigator, the Bureau will graciously provide you with a complimentary housing unit within the city. You will be bestowed with the legal right to carry a firearm, and in the event of extraordinary occurrences, you have the privilege to solicit the cooperation of local law enforcement agencies. Understandably, as joining the 749 may often involve confronting significant mental strain, the Bureau offers access to esteemed psychologists who are available to assist you at any time. If deemed necessary, they may even facilitate romantic pairings. After absorbing this wealth of information, Chen Yin reflected, this is indeed the treatment bestowed by a national institution. The opportunity to strengthen oneself, access valuable resources, and relish in various conveniences is indeed enticing. Is there any justification for declining this invitation? Nevertheless, he posed a question. What if I opt not to join the 749? That is not a significant concern. You will merely be recorded in the archives, and there will be occasional follow-ups to ascertain that you pose no threat to society. At that moment, Zhou Lin, who had just completed his report, rushed over. Zhao Qian, why do you exhibit such enthusiasm toward him? I was the one who discovered Chen Yin first. Should he be recruited, I deserve the recognition. Do not even entertain the notion of overshadowing me. If he successfully enlists a new member, the Bureau does indeed provide rewards. There exist additional rewards for individuals possessing extraordinary talents. Considering that Chen Yin had recently awakened and demonstrated the ability to vanquish second-tier demons, his potential was undeniably remarkable, and Zhou Lin could not permit anyone else to appropriate him. I am not as mercenary as you. I graduated from this institution, Is it not only natural to look after a junior? Should he thrive in the future, he may well remember my benevolence. Zhao Qian responded. You truly contemplate the future with great foresight. At that moment, Chun Yin voiced the question that weighed most heavily on his mind. Now that I have awakened, how can I cultivate and enhance my strength? Zhao Qian unveiled a watch adorning her wrist, from which a cerulean holographic screen materialized. Name, Zhao Qian Realm. Mountain Moving Realm, LV34. This device serves as the terminal from our bureau, endowed with numerous functionalities, encompassing but not limited to the recording of personal information and identity verification, summoning the super AI, and redeeming resources using contribution points. What does level 34 denote? Each individual harbors 100 spiritual apertures within their being. Once these apertures are filled, one may transcend to the subsequent realm. The super AI, designated Amy, possesses the ability to present this information in a visual format, which correlates to one's level. I comprehend. Attaining level 100 facilitates a breakthrough. Thus, what is the method for leveling up? Chun Yin's foremost concern lay in the cultivation technique. Zhao Qian commenced her explanation with meticulous care. The initial method entails the natural absorption of spiritual energy from the cosmos, circulating it throughout one's body, akin to traditional cultivation practices. However, there exists a limit to the quantity of energy one can absorb each day. Having perused various novels, Chun Yin grasped this concept instantaneously. The second method utilizes an array of cultivation resources as aids, facilitating a swifter advancement. R749 can exchange contribution points for resources. Thus, is akin to partaking in elixirs? That is rather understandable. The third method is fraught with peril. One can absorb greater quantities of spiritual energy in the reverse world or through vanquishing demons. No wonder he experienced a warm sensation within after dispatching that demon earlier. It must signify an ascension, Chun Yin mused. The fourth method presents the greatest challenge, the completion of missions. Zhou Lin interjected. Any awakened individual may randomly receive a mission. These encompass survival tasks, extermination assignments, and even daunting confrontation tasks with exceedingly high mortality rates. These missions will transport you into the reverse world, though you may opt to decline them and choose to cultivate at your own pace. Thus, the most effective route to advancement indeed lies within the reverse world. Chun Yin experienced a spark of curiosity regarding the origins of these missions. Are they dictated by the rules of the world, high-dimensional entities, or perhaps even divine beings? Nevertheless, why dwell on such questions when one has already traversed dimensions? At that moment, a message appeared before Chun Yin. Survival task received. Survive for 8 hours. Teleportation countdown. 168:00:00. A note. This narrative features a female protagonist and is not a mere harem tale. The author possesses considerable experience in crafting female leads, ensuring that she is neither superfluous nor merely ornamental, but rather plays a significant role in the protagonist's development. Chapter 3. I can create obstacles for you at this very moment. I have been assigned a survival task. When does it begin? In 7 days. That is acceptable. You may choose to forego it and instead devote yourself to honing your skills for a month or two. Typically, newcomers undergo training for over 3 months before contemplating entry into the reverse world. Let us proceed. Take me to 749. Chun Yin was eager to embark on the cultivation process in anticipation of his entry into the reverse world in 7 days. After all, the divine essence he had awakened could only strengthen through vanquishing monsters. Upon learning of Chun Yin's intent to join 749, Zhou Lin was positively overjoyed. Let's go. I shall escort you to the bureau. Rest assured, the subsequent tasks here are managed by the appropriate units, as we are part of the organization. Furthermore, numerous civilian sects also provide refuge for spiritual practitioners, but I can assure you, 749 is unequivocally more professional and legitimate. Zhou Lin engaged in incessant conversation throughout their journey, fretting that Chun Yin might reconsider his decision. Upon their arrival at the subway station, Chun Yin curiously inquired, "Is this where we board?" "Indeed, but our destination is not the conventional platform. We have a zero platform exclusively reserved for us at 749, Zhao Qian replied with enthusiasm. After passing through a security gate, they arrived at the zero platform, which was entirely devoid of any outsiders. Before long, the train appeared. As Chun Yin entered the carriage, he observed that although the number of passengers was limited, approximately 10 individuals were present, presumably agents from various regions of 749. 2 hours later, the train reached its destination. Upon disembarking from the platform, Chun Yin found himself outside the city, faced with an expansive canyon. The 749 Bureau is established within this canyon. It is a vast underground facility. Zhou Lin spoke with a trace of pride, clearly embodying a profound sense of honor. After registering at the entrance, he officially stepped into 749. Very well, we shall take our leave here. Here is my contact number. Do not hesitate to reach out should you have any inquiries. He remarked. Thank you. Zhou Lin and Zhao Qian observed as Chun Yin departed. What do you anticipate his newcomer assessment will yield? Zhou Lin inquired. I believe his average score will surpass 90. Achieving a score above 90 necessitates triumphing over the most formidable assessments. Each year, countless individuals join 749. Yet those who attain a score of 90 are exceedingly rare, all of whom are undeniably prodigies. Are you truly so confident in him? Zhou Lin expressed his astonishment. It is merely a woman's intuition. Haha. Perhaps he will soon eclipse us, came the reply. Under the guidance of the receptionist, Chun Yin completed the requisite formalities. Given that this is your inaugural visit to 749, permit me to provide you with a brief tour, she graciously suggested. As the female receptionist guided the way, Chun Yin delved deeper into the facility, ultimately catching a glimpse of this enigmatic organization. The glass corridor, which housed a myriad of monsters and demons, sent shivers down one's spine. The technologically advanced hall was abundant with state-of-the-art devices, fully equipped ordinary soldiers, and training facilities for psychics, among other remarkable features. It even boasted a cafeteria, a basketball court, dormitories, and recreational amenities, truly all-encompassing. In 2 words, it was magnificent. Chun Yin, this is our terminal distribution room. You may select a style of your preference, the receptionist indicated. Surrounded by glass cabinets, showcasing terminals in the form of watches, earrings, necklaces, rings, and even neckbands. Chun Yin made a selection. I shall take this one, he declared, choosing a sleek black watch-style terminal. Excellent. You may wear it now. The super AI, Amy, will seamlessly assist you in entering your information. As Chun Yin adorned the terminal, a virtual girl with silver hair and bare feet materialized before him, speaking in a mechanical tone devoid of emotion. Welcome, Chun Yin. To summon Amy in the future, simply utter her name or tap the terminal thrice. Scanning data. In a moment, a data card appeared on the luminous screen. Name, Chun Yin Realm, Spirit Communication, LV8, Permission Level, None Contribution Points, 0. Thus, after vanquishing that demon, I filled all 8 spirit apertures in a single endeavor, ascending 8 levels. Vanquishing monsters not only expedites the journey of leveling up, but also fortifies one's vitality. I must endeavor with great diligence to eliminate demons in the days to come. Forgive me. That was an error. I meant to address you, Amy. Amy hovered gracefully in the air, her silver-haired, barefooted figure exuding an enchanting charm. With an expression devoid of emotion, she responded, Please refrain from conflating me with that substandard artificial intelligence. Very well. Let me pose a query to assess your intellect. Please continue. Am I handsome? According to Amy's impartial evaluation of human aesthetics derived from extensive data, you possess considerable height. Puffed. The female receptionist beside them could not suppress a chuckle. Our super AI tends to wield her words with a sharp wit. Do not take offense. For you are indeed rather handsome. Chun Yin deactivated the terminal and pondered, what course of action should I pursue next? Every newcomer entering 749 is required to undergo a potential assessment, the outcomes of which will dictate the nature of their treatment. Scores range from 0 to 100, classified into several tiers, with 60 serving as the baseline. A score falling below 60 is considered inadequate, precluding one from ascending to the role of an intern investigator. It is imperative to remain at 749 to cultivate one's abilities until the standards for reassessment are met. To achieve a satisfactory score, one must secure a minimum of 60 points, with each increment of 10 points signifying a potential elevation in excellence. Typically, scores surpassing 80 are regarded as indicative of future stars, whereas those exceeding 90 are categorized as top-tier prodigies. Exceptional evaluations frequently result in improved treatment across various dimensions. Chunyin nodded, beckoning for a tour. Moments later, she pushed open the heavy metallic door, unveiling an expansive training ground, its surface shrouded in gray concrete, encircled by towering metal structures. At its heart lay the newcomer evaluation area, teeming with dozens of spectators who fervently cheered for the participants. The evaluation zone resembled a square enclosure, where a muscular man, bare-chested, was being pursued by 4 bowling balls. Indeed, bowling balls, albeit forged from metal and weighing several thousand pounds. A direct impact could undoubtedly be lethal. Go for it. Wang Yi. It's nearly over. Only 10 seconds left. Hold on. In a fleeting moment, the evaluation reached its conclusion, and the faint blue light screen overhead revealed the man's score. Wang Xiao, 87 points. Wow, 87 points. A new record. That's extraordinary. All credit goes to Wang Ge. I can scarcely manage to exceed a score of 60, let alone attain a passing mark. It is entirely commonplace for novices to encounter difficulties. Those bowling balls are no trifling matter. Wang Ji's exceptional talent is unmistakable, and after several months of dedicated practice, he has succeeded in achieving such an impressive score. Chunyin recognized Wang Xiao, the illustrious captain of the basketball team from the neighboring university, who had dominated a match against her own school, captivating numerous girls with his wild and commanding presence. She later learned of his departure from academia, leaving many female students disheartened, only to discover that he had enlisted in the 749. Her gaze then shifted, alighting upon a familiar figure in the stands, a petite girl seated alone. Lulin? She had been the star performer at the freshman gala, enchanting the audience with her delicate features and an air of aloofness while playing big fish on stage, thus earning the title of the unforgettable piano goddess among the boys at school. Even Chunyin found herself admiring her. It is in a man's nature to appreciate beauty. However, Lulin had abruptly withdrawn from school 3 months prior, only for Chunyin to learn that she too had been recruited into the 749. The next contender is you, Sangge. Today, we shall witness who shall seize the pinnacle for the month. The prize consists of 3 full bottles of cultivation elixir. Following Wang Zhao's departure from the arena, a tall, slender young man adorned with glasses stepped onto the field. It appeared that these two were engaged in a fierce battle for supremacy on the leaderboard, while the others merely observed. The evaluation leaderboard undergoes monthly updates, with rewards for the top position designed to inspire everyone to perpetually transcend their limits. Both of these individuals are remarkably exceptional among the newcomers. Despite having been with the 749 for several months, there is no need for you to hasten. I certainly felt the urgency. In merely a few days, I would be entering the reverse world. How could I possibly forfeit such invaluable cultivation resources? Amy, please proceed with my registration. Chunyin directed the terminal. In an instant, a line of text materialized. Chapter 4. Level 5 Assessment. Flawless evaluation. The proclamation of Chunyin's successful enrollment in the newcomer assessment resonated throughout the venue, and shortly thereafter, his name adorned the grand screen. Chunyin, with a historical score of 0, caused a stir as his name resonated through the crowd. What is happening? Has a newcomer appeared at this critical juncture? Who might he be? Can one not discern that Brother Wang and Brother Song are locked in a fierce competition? Indeed, all eyes are fixated on their extraordinary accomplishments. How can an interloper intrude at such a moment? Attention swiftly diverted to the unfamiliar visage of Chunyin. Wang Xiao approached him, a trace of annoyance evident upon his countenance. You there, newcomer, kindly vacate the queue. Should you wish to undergo assessment, I suggest you return on the morrow. I am currently engaged in a quest to shatter records and seize the top position for this month, and I intend to persist in my endeavors. In his pursuit of first place, he had even resorted to the infusion of adrenaline to augment his physical capabilities. The efficacy of such a substance diminishes with time, and with Chen Yin now positioned before him, he felt a swell of irritation. "And who might you be? Do you not recognize me?" he inquired, his voice laced with impatience as he gestured toward the name at the pinnacle of the leaderboard. "Wang Xiao." "Indeed, you are Wang Xiao. And what of it?" Wang Xiao's countenance darkened immediately. "Newcomer, to display such disrespect will render your future exceedingly arduous. Then you are overly cautious. I can render your days troublesome this very instant." With a fluid motion, Chen Yin raised his right hand. Sequence 003, Blood Monarch activated. In an instant, blood erupted from his fingertips, coalescing into a colossal crimson hand that seized Wang Xiao's throat with an iron grip. The 200-pound man was effortlessly hoisted by his neck. "You." "Ugh, I am rather timid. When threatened, I find it impossible to find peace until I eradicate the source of my distress. Consider your words carefully before you speak again." Wang Xiao gasped for breath, the skin around his neck already marked with a deep crimson hue as his complexion turned pallid. He could hardly fathom the immense strength displayed by this newcomer. The onlookers were equally taken aback. What on earth is transpiring? How did this newcomer engage in conflict with Brother Wang? Is Brother Wang truly at a disadvantage? Goodness! Wang Zhao's pride endured a substantial blow, yet a spark of trepidation towards Chen Yin ignited within him. That power was utterly formidable. "AI me," he summoned the super artificial intelligence from the terminal. "At your service." The silver-haired girl manifested instantly. "This individual has brazenly assaulted fellow trainees in the training arena. I demand a ruling to deduct his conduct points. The conduct points hold paramount significance. Failing to adhere to the standards may lead to exclusion from missions and the imposition of disciplinary actions." AI me responded with a stoic expression, declaring the ruling complete. The evaluation deemed it as self-inflicted disgrace. With that, she disappeared. Wang Zhao's visage twisted into a grimace of profound humiliation. "Please, Chen Yin, advance to the assessment stage." The announcement resonated. Chen Yin paid Wang Xiao no further attention, skillfully maneuvering through the protective mesh and confidently stepping into the evaluation arena. "Brother Wang, are you well?" A girl rushed to assist Wang Xiao. She was one of his ardent admirers, ever eager to bask in his formidable presence. "It's quite all right, Brother Wang. Surely, you do not wish to engage in a dispute with a newcomer. Your spirit is magnanimous. I am eager to witness how many points he can accumulate." Within the arena, the male instructor approached, bearing a set of heavy gray attire. "Chen Yan, is it? This suit is fashioned from impact-resistant material, designed to effectively safeguard against injuries during the assessment. Please put it on. Is it possible to forego wearing it?" Do not be misled by those few who are unadorned. They have undergone assessments countless times. Generally, newcomers are required to wear it for their initial attempt, lest they find themselves seeking refuge in the infirmary later. "Thank you, but I prefer to maintain my agility." A proud young man, indeed. "Very well. There exist 5 tiers of evaluation. With each ascending tier, an additional sphere will be launched to strike you. Your task is to evade and defend against these spheres for a duration of 1 minute. Should you wish to elevate your evaluation tier, you may vocalize your intent. Should you find yourself unable to endure any longer, simply exclaim to cease the test. The system will also terminate the assessment involuntarily should it ascertain that you can no longer proceed. Understood. Please commence." The instructor grasped a walkie-talkie. "Control room. You may initiate the process." He then exited the arena. Outside the venue, numerous observing trainee investigators were intently watching this test, eager to witness how this individual, who had clashed with Wang Xiao upon arrival, would fare in the evaluation. Whether he is a horse or a mule, he must be subjected to a trial to ascertain his capabilities. Boom! The iron gate swung open, and a bowling ball, towering at approximately 2 meters, rolled forth. It charged directly towards Chen Yin. Do not be deceived by its sluggish pace. At least 50% of individuals cannot withstand the initial impact, resulting in dismal scores. I hope he can endure a bit longer. Chen Yin stood resolute, unwavering. Since embracing his psychic abilities, he had experienced a remarkable enhancement in his physical capabilities. Coupled with his power to manipulate blood, He was confident that he could confront this challenge with ease. Blood oozed from the capillaries in his wrist, transforming into a crimson armor that enveloped his arm. With a mighty punch, he struck. Bang! The metallic bowling ball sword, crashing heavily against the netting. Increase the intensity, Chen Yin called out. Good lad. The control room personnel promptly elevated the control lever to a heightened setting. Level 2. Another identical sphere surged forth from a gate. A pincer assault. Furthermore, its velocity was markedly superior to that of its predecessor, indicating a more formidable impact. Should he exercise insufficient caution, being struck by two spheres could easily result in fractured bones. This young man possesses remarkable audacity. The blood in Chun Yin's hands transformed into a colossal hammer, and with the force of a bowling strike, he propelled one sphere away while reverting to a fist to deliver a blow to the second. Increase the intensity. Intensity level 3. Goodness. Is this his inaugural assessment? Achieving level 3 on his first endeavor? This young man is indeed extraordinary. If memory serves, Brother Wang only summoned 2 spheres during his initial attempt. Hush! Do not utter a word out of turn. 3 spheres executed a complex barrage, ascending into the heavens before plummeting down, amplifying the ferocity of their strikes exponentially. Yet, Chen Yin maintained his composure, displaying an extraordinary tranquility in his reaction. The intensity continued to rise, reaching a formidable level 4. Spectators were left in stunned silence. In a trial of such magnitude, apart from the ethereal beauty within the audience, only Wang Xiao and Song Changwan among those assembled could attain this level of prowess. Could this newcomer genuinely be human? Impossible, one might ponder. What manner of extraordinary novice is this? The 4 spheres converged in an unyielding onslaught, their frequency of attack escalating to an almost incomprehensible tempo. A single miscalculation could result in being sent hurtling away. Nevertheless, Chun Yin's command over his sequential abilities was concurrently evolving. Initially, he had to incise his wrist to allow his blood to flow, yet now he could directly manipulate his blood to penetrate his skin, facilitating swifter transformations. At times, it coalesced into a fist, at other moments into a formidable hammer, or even into a protective armor. Still, the 4 spheres were unable to inflict any injury upon him. Increase. Very well. I shall push it to the utmost limit for you. The control lever was elevated to the maximum intensity of 5, invigorating the operator. It had been an extended period since he had witnessed such an exceptional newcomer. Within the management command room of 749, several high-ranking officials were also observing Chun Yin's trial. Is this young man new? Indeed, I have heard that he vanquished a second-tier demon immediately upon awakening. He is undoubtedly a promising candidate. Zhou Lin's decision to bring him back is praiseworthy. This young man's talent lies in blood manipulation, quite a rarity, indeed, and certainly of a high caliber. Could he potentially be among the top 10 chosen ones? If that is the case, we have struck gold. Fortunately, he was not whisked away by those sections. Let us first ascertain whether he can endure this level 5 trial. Under the rigorous demands of level 5, the challenges intensified exponentially, with all spheres operating at their utmost capacity, even levitating in the air. In this scenario, Chun Yin appeared as a diminutive figure on a billiard table, being tossed about by 5 billiard balls. The other trainees observed in astonishment. I cannot fathom it. If I were to enter that arena, I would be crushed into oblivion. This is utterly surreal. It is my inaugural experience witnessing a level 5 test. At that moment, the 5 colossal spheres surged forth simultaneously from various directions. Bang! Chen Yin found himself ensnared within their midst. Although he had swiftly transformed his blood into an armor for protection, he still faced the inevitable impact, uncontrollably expelling a mouthful of blood. Was this the end for him? It appeared he could not withstand the intensity of level 5, after all. What a lamentable fate. The operator sighed. Nevertheless, he was undeniably a rare, prodigious talent. They needed to hasten him to the infirmary for treatment, for they could not afford to lose such a promising prospect. Just as he prepared to deactivate the mechanism, a tremendous crash resonated from below. What could be occurring? He abruptly rose and peered downwards. To his astonishment, The 5 metallic spheres were all impaled by enormous blood spikes. It resembled a string of candied hawthorns, accompanied by crackling electrical sounds. They were damaged, and Chen Yin emerged unscathed from within. The greater the volume of bloodshed, the more formidable his prowess as the Blood King becomes, empowering him to unleash this technique. Several members of the management in the command room could scarcely contain their excitement, erupting into cheers. Well done. Beautifully executed. Enough talk. With such a promising talent among us today, we must celebrate with a few drinks. Simultaneously, the results were projected onto the training grounds light screen. Chen Yin, 100 points. In that moment, the entire venue erupted with fervor. My goodness, a perfect score. Is he even human? Someone exclaimed, clutching their head in disbelief. Under normal circumstances, even if one barely passes the 5th level trial, the score would only be in the low 90s, another remarked. It's because he obliterated all those fears. High scores are attained in this manner. The girl who supported Wang Xiao gazed at Chen Yin, her eyes lacking focus. In that moment, she realized that her allegiance to Wang Xiao had lost its allure. The support she once deemed sturdy now appeared fragile. As for Wang Xiao himself, after a fleeting change in expression, he could only exit the training ground in a fit of indignation. Following Chen Yin's outstanding performance, his attempts to accumulate points on the leaderboard that evening felt rather absurd. Amy, how would you assess my earlier performance? He inquired. Satisfactory, Amy replied, her countenance betraying no emotion. Unbelievable. This is the first instance I have witnessed Amy commend someone. She previously regarded us all as novices. Splendid, Chun. Let us grow acquainted. Include me in your future endeavors. Abruptly, an ice crystal hurtled toward Chen Yin. He skillfully caught it in his hand. Who would resort to such duplicitous tactics, attacking in stealth? This ice crystal was dispatched by the young girl in the audience, the diminutive piano virtuoso, Lu Lin. She turned and departed in silence, leaving Chen Yin in a state of bewilderment. Could it be that something is encased within this ice crystal? Chapter 5. The Contest for Mentorship. We all desire Chen Yin. Upon closer examination, Chen Yin discerned that at the heart of the ice crystal lay an object reminiscent of a pill. As the ice melted away, the pill nestled in the palm of his hand. Amy, could you scan this for me? He requested. Please direct the terminal towards the item you wish to scan. Scanning in progress. The item has been identified as a spirit healing pill, produced in batch 749. Consuming it facilitates rapid recovery from injuries, requiring 5 contribution points for exchange. A healing pill, indeed? Chen Yin mused, bewildered by the silent gesture of offering him this pill. He had indeed suffered injuries. A torrent of blood coursed through him from enduring numerous high-impact encounters. However, after consuming the pill, a soothing warmth surged through his body, and the discomfort within his internal organs significantly subsided. The effects were truly remarkable. There was no necessity to visit the infirmary. However, he was indebted to her, a notion that Chen Yin found quite distasteful. Perhaps he would discover an opportunity to reciprocate her kindness at a later time. After Lu Lin departed the training ground, she encountered her mentor and aunt, Zheng Xin. Every intern investigator is mandated to be paired with an instructor, much like a graduate student must seek guidance from a mentor. Lin, why not endeavor to forge some friendships? In the future, tasks will be executed in pairs, and it would prove quite arduous for you should you lack social skills and companionship. Zheng Xin was enveloped in a sense of exasperation. She had welcomed Lu Lin into their circle 3 months prior. In terms of aptitude, Lu Lin was remarkable, ranking among the top 10 in the Water God sequence, having achieved an impressive score of 98 in the freshman evaluation. Nevertheless, she remained perpetually distant and reserved. The crux of the issue lay in her preference for formidable challenges, leading her to yearn for a companion of equal caliber. Yet, how many could truly match her exceptional abilities? I made a friend, Lu Lin acknowledged with a nod. How did you accomplish that? Zheng Xion's expression brightened with curiosity. I presented her with a pill. And then, did you exchange any words? Perhaps you mentioned your desire to collaborate on the next mission, confessing your lack of social finesse and seeking her support? Lu Lin shook her head. No. Oh dear. You impetuous girl. You have squandered a precious, transferable token on someone without uttering a single word. Lu Lin slightly puffed her cheeks, expressing her discontent. Wait, I have a call, Zhang Xian remarked, answering the phone. Ah, the meeting room is selecting new recruits. I shall be there shortly. After disconnecting the call, she hurriedly inquired. My dear, what is the name of the individual you admire? I shall endeavor to secure them from my side, facilitating your collaboration and communication. Lu Lin contemplated for a moment, raised her index finger, and traced a character in the air with frost. Chun, you are still shy. The surname is Chun, is it? I must discern what this Chun possesses to have captured your discerning gaze. Zhang Xian hurriedly entered the meeting room, her demeanor fraught with urgency. A lengthy table was occupied by 7 mentors, herself included, with the deputy director presiding over the gathering. Everyone is present, the deputy director announced in a commanding voice. Amy, please retrieve the profiles and assessment scores of the trainees who are without mentors. Understood, came the prompt reply. In an instant, a projection materialized upon the table, showcasing the avatars, profiles, ages, and assessment scores of the newcomers. No need to deliberate further. I desire Chen Yin, proclaimed a male mentor who, possessing insider knowledge, had learned of Chen Yin's remarkable assessment score en route. Deputy Director, I too wish to claim Chen Yin, another mentor interjected, raising his hand. The Deputy Director frowned. What is the haste? Let us adhere to protocol. We must review all the newcomers' information before making selections. Zhang Xian pondered silently. Could it be that Chen Yin is the companion that Lin Lin has set her sights on? What on earth is transpiring? Why does everyone seem to covet him? As if he were a cherished gem? Soon, Chen Yin's details illuminated the screen. Chen Yin, male, 19 years old, estimated ability. Kill sequence, assessment score, 100. An extraordinary talent? Zhang Xian abruptly slammed her hand upon the table, capturing the attention of all present in the conference room. I beg your pardon for the interruption. As she resumed her seat, her thoughts were already in turmoil. It is no wonder that girl has taken a fancy to this young man. A perfect score of 100. He must indeed be another prodigy. I too desire Chen Yin. Zhang Xian raised her hand. Not at all, Director Zhang. Just recently, you accepted Lu Lin, a rare chosen one, and now you wish to claim yet another genius who is likely also a chosen one? Is that not a touch avaricious? Alas, what am I to do? My introverted companion seeks to form a friendship with this young man. She exhibits no interest in other novices. The deputy director raised an eyebrow, inquiring, what do you mean by introverted companion? Lacking curves, beauty, or allure? She remains speechless, devoid of words, emotions, and expressions. Come now, deputy, enough of this. I beg to differ. I have yet to nurture such a gifted newcomer. I cannot allow you to claim them all. Let me be unequivocal. Whoever dares to usurp Chen Yin from my grasp shall find themselves in a duel. Are you being unreasonable? Very well, let us resolve this on the training grounds. The victor shall become Chen Yin's mentor. As the mentors confronted one another with palpable tension, the deputy director cleared his throat twice and, with exasperation, stated, we are no longer children, engaging in such frivolities. Let us adhere to fairness. We shall draw lots. Whoever draws the name shall receive the student. 7 crumpled pieces of paper were placed upon the table. One individual selected a paper. Oh dear, what a misfortune. It is not me. Who has drawn Chen Yin's name? Before them stood a meticulously attired male mentor, carefully unfolding a crumpled piece of paper. It prominently bore the name of Chen Yin. Li Xiao, fortune favors you. Deputy, I trust your intentions are above reproach. It is common knowledge that your daughter is under the guidance of Li Xiao. Assigning Chen Yin to him may indeed serve to rein in your spirited daughter. This seems plausible. It is well understood that your daughter is both audacious and challenging to manage. Should she encounter such a talent, perhaps she will refine her demeanor and dedicate herself to her studies. The deputy director interjected, Ahem, unless there are further matters at hand. Everyone is welcome to continue selecting other students. Ah, deputy, your calculations are astute. By the time your daughter finds herself enamored, she may remain oblivious to it all. The deputy raised an eyebrow. If my memory serves me correctly, you were 2 minutes tardy to the meeting the day before yesterday? Chen Yin arrived at the new student dormitory. After scanning the terminal, her information was promptly registered. The dormitory matron greeted her warmly, stating, "Chen Yin, your assessment results are exceptional. You may choose between a single room or a shared room. A single room would offer tranquility, while a shared room provides individual spaces that can cultivate camaraderie and collaboration." Chen Yin reflected. During her breaks, she could relish solitude at home, yet still forge friendships. At 749, I will select the shared option, she decided. Dormitory 304, off you go. Simply scan your terminal to unlock the door. I wish you a delightful stay. At 749. The dormitories were allocated according to the mentors, ensuring that roommates shared the same guide for mutual encouragement. Upon reaching 304, she scanned the terminal, and a melodic chime resonated as the door swung open. The dormitory was more inviting than she had anticipated. The first sight to capture her attention was the elegantly adorned living room, where a girl reclined on the sofa, absorbed in her phone, a lollipop dangling from her mouth. Noticing Chen Yin, the girl swiftly removed her headphones and rose to her feet. "You are Chen Yin." She flaunted her vibrant orange locks, and her loose-fitting sweatshirt exuded an aura of languor, while her denim shorts revealed legs reminiscent of a whimsical cartoon character. Her fashion was strikingly avant-garde, akin to a mesmerizing girl who had emerged from the enchanting realms of anime. "Yaya, we shall be roommates from this moment forth. You need not regard me as merely a girl. We can simply be good friends." The girl extended her fair right hand, radiating an air of casual familiarity. "Chen Yin, greetings. In our abode, room 304, the rule is simple. The one with the strongest fist reigns supreme. There's a mission scheduled for tomorrow. Shall we embark on it together? I cannot desire anything more." Chen Yin comprehended that to grow stronger, she must confront the monsters ahead, and she was more than eager to undertake this venture. At that moment, a resounding knock reverberated from the door. Chapter 6, The Inaugural Mission, The Vampire Demon Case. The door swung open. A middle-aged man, adorned with glasses, stepped in, clad in a pristine white shirt and tailored dress pants, cradling a thermos. He was Li Xiao, the mentor to Chen Yin and her roommate. "Greetings, Director Li." Li Xiao acknowledged with a nod, entering the space and scanning the room, nonchalantly plucking a stray hair from the floor. His tendencies hinted at a penchant for orderliness. Approaching Chen Yin, he retrieved 3 vials of liquid from his storage pouch. "Chen Yin, this is your ranking reward. No one can surpass your achievement, so I have brought the reward directly to you. Pour it into the bathtub while soaking. It will be fully absorbed in 30 minutes and significantly accelerate your cultivation speed." Chen Yin accepted the items. "Thank you, Director Li. Let us proceed. I shall take you to the logistics department to assist you in selecting suitable combat techniques." Just as they were about to depart, Li Xiao abruptly paused at the threshold of Yi Yaya's room. Through a slight crack, he beheld a chaotic assortment of socks, undergarments, cosmetics, and plush toys strewn about. "Oh no!" Yi Yaya exclaimed, covering her face. "I have told you countless times that your room and appearance must be maintained in an orderly manner. This fosters a meticulous work ethic. If I encounter this disarray again, you shall owe me 30 laps around the track." Chen Yin subtly secured her collar button as she and her companion made their way towards the logistics department, where she eagerly absorbed an abundance of knowledge. Among the insights were the 6 principal realms: the spirit connection realm, the mountain moving realm, the sky breaking realm, the star radiance realm, the pure light realm, and the solar realm. While there were additional realms to explore, they remained beyond her current grasp. Each awakened ability of a spirit wielder was linked to a distinct deity, such as the god of thunder, fire, or water. The logistics department itself resembled a treasure trove, containing an impressive collection of 749 items, which included various cultivation resources, spiritual treasures, and martial arts techniques. "Chen Yin," one remarked, "I've taken note of your remarkable abilities. The slaughter sequence is indeed a premier combat prowess. Certainly, the specifics of the effects need not be revealed, as they pertain to personal information. Nevertheless, I gather that you possess the ability to convert blood into weaponry. Thus, I suggest selecting appropriate weapon techniques for training, which will significantly bolster your combat prowess." Indeed, he was a meticulous mentor, Chun Yin reflected. Very well. I shall opt for a blade technique. Before long, the two of them navigated through an identity scanner and arrived at the combat technique section of the logistics department. These are the martial techniques of the blade that you seek. Ordinary newcomers may select techniques valued at under 10 contribution points. Given your exceptional assessment results, you are permitted to choose a technique valued at under 50 contribution points without charge. 50 contribution points? That necessitates the completion of several tasks. Indeed, high scores yield numerous advantages. Chun Yin began to meticulously sift through his options, contemplating for an extended period, until his gaze ultimately rested upon a technique entitled the Blade of the Dazzling Dragon. Description: this blade technique embodies the elegance of a startled swan and the fluidity of a drifting dragon, both ethereal and swift, capable of vanquishing adversaries in the blink of an eye. First move, the draw, a rapid strike that catches the opponent unawares. Second move, the dragon calms the sea, a tumultuous dance of blades, reminiscent of a dragon thrashing in the depths, proficient in both offense and defense. Final move, the dazzling dragon breaks the void, a strike so swift it resembles thunder, delivering a fatal blow in an instant. Below, the requisite contribution points are noted. Wonder points. What a pity. It is somewhat costly. Perhaps I shall choose a more economical option. Just as Chun Yin pondered returning it, Li Xiao intercepted him mid-journey, striding directly towards the logistics administrator. The administrator commented, "Old Li, this surpasses the limit. Simply deduct it from my 50 contribution points. It is a trifling matter." "Ha! It appears you have developed quite an affection for this newcomer." Soon, Li Xiao presented the blade of the dazzling dragon to Chun Yin, saying, "Take it and practice diligently." "Thank you, Director Li." While graciously accepting the favor, Chun Yin reminded himself to cherish this act of kindness and to reciprocate it when the occasion presented itself. Such was his guiding principle. With the mastery of this blade technique, he would no longer need to flounder aimlessly with mere blood manipulation. His first endeavor would be to hone his skills with the blade, followed by an exploration of the extensive knowledge housed within Bureau 749. The following day, he intended to persuade Yaya to join him on a mission. After bidding farewell to Director Li, Chun Yin proceeded to the training ground to practice with the blade, only returning to dormitory 304 at the stroke of midnight. He had made modest progress with the initial technique. Exhausted, he dragged himself into the bathroom, filled the tub, and added a vial of cultivation elixir. The surface of the water glimmered with a delicate yellow hue. Once submerged, he felt his pores relax entirely. He could distinctly perceive a warm current permeating his being, likely the spiritual energy being absorbed through his spiritual channels. As these channels began to fill, Chun Yin observed his level ascending on the terminal. Level 9, Level 10, Level 11. Estimating that after an hour of immersion, he could effortlessly achieve a 10-level increase. "Hey, Chun Yin," a voice resonated from outside the bathroom, belonging to Yi Yaya. "I just secured a mission. We shall depart tomorrow at noon." "Sounds splendid." Chun Yin responded with enthusiasm. "And how long do you intend to monopolize the bathroom? I wish to shower as well." "Come on, we are friends. Why not join me and wash together? I can allow you to immerse yourself in the cultivation elixir." A profound silence enveloped the surroundings. After an hour of immersion, Chun Yin emerged reinvigorated and cast a glance at the terminal information. Name: Chun Yin Realm. Spirit Communication, LV-18, Permission Level, Intern Investigator Contribution Points, 0. However, this elixir should be utilized judiciously, lest his meridians develop a resistance, thereby diminishing its efficacy in the future. The following day, in the morning, Chun Yin devoted several hours to honing his knife skills, showcasing remarkable improvement. After lunch, the two formally commenced their journey through the internal subway system, destined for Tianhai City. "Please add me as a contact, and I shall convey the details," instructed Yi Yao. Chun Yin and her companion exchanged terminal scans, and instantly, the task information manifested before their eyes. Case file number, CA 8300 location, Tianhai City, Chaoyang District. Overview: 3 recent homicides have transpired, with all victims being young women in their 20s, discovered as desiccated corpses with their blood entirely exsanguinated. The perpetrator is suspected to be a vampire-like demon known as the blood-sucking centipede. Current progress. According to the investigation conducted by the local Public Security Bureau, a certain adult male named Zhang Wei has been implicated in collusion with the demon, enticing young women to hotels for the demon to prey upon. Zhang Wei has been apprehended and is presently undergoing interrogation. Task objective: assist in interrogating Zhang Wei to unveil the identity of the demon, with the aim of eliminating or containing it. Reward: 10 contribution points, 30,000 currency. Numerous demons possess the ability to inhabit human bodies and even assume human forms, rendering them exceedingly arduous to apprehend. The two resolved to first visit the Public Security Bureau to evaluate the situation. Chaoyang District Public Security Bureau Interrogation Room. A corpulent man with a scarred visage sat in a chair, appearing utterly disheveled. He was Zhang Wei, the individual culpable for enticing young women, which indirectly led to 3 tragic fatalities. Zhang Wei, confess. Where did you encounter the murderer? Where can he be located? Officer Lin Feng bellowed. Brother, I truly do not know. You have simply dragged me here, interrogating me for an entire night. I'm being wronged. A sharp sound echoed as several photographs were forcefully placed upon the table by Lin Feng. Do you see these 3 girls? Their blood has been drained. The one who murdered them is a monster. This is a matter of life and death. Lin Feng, in a fit of fury, pointed accusingly at Zhang Wei's chest. Do you possess any semblance of conscience left? Conscience. Zhang Wei tilted his head. Can conscience be consumed? I am famished. I can endure no longer. I shall swoon from hunger. He shut his eyes and sank into his chair. I yearn for sustenance. Please bring me something to eat. Clenching his fists, Lin Feng found himself compelled to place an order for a meal. However, as Zhang Wei took his first bite, he promptly expelled it from his mouth. What is this? Swill fit for pigs? Is this the sustenance you officers consume? Do you possess any Coca-Cola? This is outrageous. Lin Feng raised his fist, yet was restrained by an officer positioned behind him, who murmured, Captain Lin, reinforcement from Unit 749 have arrived. It was only then that Lin Feng lowered his fist and turned to acknowledge the specialist from 749. Zhang Wei chuckled from the rear. Officer, without evidence. Detention can last only 24 hours. I trust you will handle this expeditiously. With that, he resumed humming a tune, seemingly oblivious to the tension that enveloped the room. Outside, a grim-faced Lin Feng welcomed the specialists from Unit 749, who were none other than Chun Yin and Yi Yao. Upon reviewing the profiles of these 2 individuals, Lin Feng's expression darkened further. It appeared that they were merely 2 intern investigators. Unit 749 seemed to underestimate the gravity of this case. Nevertheless, he quelled his frustration and conveyed the entirety of the case details to them. It is utterly exasperating. I am determined to confront him decisively, Yi Yaya exclaimed, cracking her knuckles. Permit me to take charge. It is unseemly for a lady to resort to violence. Chun Yin gently pushed open the door to the interrogation room and entered the softly illuminated chamber. Ah, Zhang Wei welcomed Chun Yin with a playful whistle. Is it indeed true that there is no one remaining at your Public Security Bureau? You dispatch a mere child to interrogate me? I find myself unexpectedly thirsty. Might you procure a bottle of water for me? Chun Yin approached Zhang Wei in silence, and, with a swift motion, delivered a resounding slap to his plump visage, causing the flesh to quiver. Zhang Wei collapsed to the ground, blood seeping from his mouth and nose, accompanied by 2 dislodged teeth. As he endeavored to speak, the sole of a black boot met his face, pressing down with relentless force. Forgive my rudeness. I have just returned from the restroom, and I trust you do not mind my using your face to clean my shoes. Chapter 7. Capturing the demon at the hotel. Chun Yin is drained of strength. You struck me? This is sheer brutality. Help! Someone is resorting to violent measures. Chun Yin extended his index finger, from which a slender, blood-like spike abruptly materialized. This delicate instrument, though thin, is non-lethal and will not induce unconsciousness, so there is no need for concern. With that, the sanguine spike pierced the skin of Zhang Wei's arm. The hospital employed a particularly agonizing injection known as a skin test, which involved puncturing the skin with a fine needle. Those in the know are aware of its torment. Ah! Zhang Wei screamed in excruciating pain, reminiscent of a dying swine. I do not know. I truly do not know. Did I solicit any queries from you? The blood spike writhed within Zhang Wei's flesh, sending shivers down the spines of nearby security officers. When did the interns from 749 become so merciless? I shall confess. I shall confess. Just cease. Please cease. I'm not in a position to listen at this moment. After an extended silence, Chun Yin withdrew the blood spike and cast an indifferent gaze at Zhang Wei, who was slumped in his chair, ashen and perspiring profusely. I shall step out for some tea. When you're ready to confess, do so. There are still 3 hours remaining before the 24-hour deadline. Take your time. With that, he exited the room. Once outside, Yaya could not restrain herself from giving Chun Yin an approving thumbs up. A gratifying display of justice. Quite remarkable. Is it too much to request you to address me as Brother Chen? Not a chance. The mission has only just commenced, and the outcome remains uncertain. Before long, Lin Feng approached Chen Yin. He has revealed everything. They arranged to meet every Friday night at the hotel, where Zhang Wei would deliver the girls he had lured in exchange for payment from the other party. To consort with demons for a mere pittance. How contemptible. Yaya seethed with anticipation. Tomorrow heralds Friday. Let him sustain communication with the other party. We shall pay a visit to the hotel, Chun Yin proclaimed. The arrival of Friday was accompanied by a relentless downpour. Chun Yin and Yaya stood side by side beneath a large black umbrella, defying the unyielding rain along the roadside. Across from them loomed a hotel, the chosen rendezvous for Zhang Wei and his associate. Inside, their counterpart awaited. Should events transpire, as they typically do, another young girl would soon be deprived of her vitality. Yet today, it was Chun Yin and Yi Yaya who had come forth. Old Yi, you shall assume the guise of a young and enchanting lady. Entice him into opening the door, and then we shall confront him within, Chun Yin declared. Could you kindly refrain from such ludicrous exclamations? Old Yi appears utterly antiquated, she retorted. Is that not how brothers typically address one another? Let us proceed, he responded. The two traversed the shadowy road and entered the hotel, ascending to the 10th floor via the elevator. They alighted onto the plush carpet, arriving at the threshold of room 1009. Chun Yin took refuge behind the wall, clutching the umbrella, while Yi Yaya stepped forward to knock. Knock, knock, knock. After a momentary pause, the door swung open. A bald, greasy man stood there, and upon laying eyes on Yi Yaya, his eyes nearly bulged from their sockets. My word, I never anticipated that this time the girl would be such a breathtaking beauty. Come in, he urged with eagerness. As Yi Yaya entered the room, Chun Yin followed, skillfully shutting the door behind him. Who on earth are you? The bald man fixed a fierce glare upon Chun Yin. Her brother, Chun Yin, responded with an air of nonchalance. Without further hesitation, he unleashed a formidable kick to the man's chest, propelling him back 2 meters. Chun Yin strolled inside and settled comfortably onto the sumptuous sofa. Please, old Yi, ladies first, he jested, signaling the commencement of their contest. The victor, who could subdue the creature first, would earn the esteemed privilege of leadership within their dormitory. Yi Yaya cracked her neck and bestowed a playful grin. Then I shall not hold back. In the blink of an eye, her body began to shimmer with electric energy. Thunder God Sequence 005, 5, Thunder Justice. At that moment, Yi Yaya bore a striking resemblance to a Pikachu unleashing a torrent of electricity. The overhead lights flickered and extinguished, while various appliances around them erupted in a cacophony of sparks, culminating in the shattering of the television screen. After a brief 10 seconds, Yi Yaya concluded her electric display. Panting heavily, her hair standing on end, the bald man lay sprawled on the ground, charred and blackened, wisps of smoke rising from his form, prompting one to ponder whether he had been seared. This girl possesses extraordinary powers. She must indeed be a prodigy, Chun Yin mused, unable to contain his admiration. All done. From this moment forth, I, Yaya, shall assume the mantle of leader of Dorm 304. You have no objections, do you, Xiaochen? She exclaimed, clapping her hands, a triumphant smile gracing her face. At that instant, a voice laced with malice erupted from behind them. You wretches, do you believe I'm insignificant? Huh? The bald man gradually ascended to his feet, his gaze imbued with a menacing, bloodshot intensity, his body convulsing in a grotesque manner as if a monstrous entity within him was awakening. How could this be? Yi Yaya gasped in astonishment. Suddenly, with a thunderous explosion, the man's head erupted, and a colossal, blood-red centipede surged forth from his form. As the creature fully emerged, the super AI, Amy, readied herself to deliver a precise analysis based on its appearance and prowess. Level 24, Bloodthirsty Centipede. The monster's level reflects its classification, with every 10 levels denoting a new rank. It resides within the second tier, a domain that eclipses that of the two individuals present. Exercise caution. In an instant, Chun Yin swiftly drew Yi Yaya back onto the sofa, positioning himself protectively before her. Seeking demise, the bloodthirsty centipede's tentacle abruptly punctured Chun Yin's chest, initiating its nefarious act of draining his blood. Chun Yin, regardless of your origin, be it 749 or elsewhere, to dare to disturb me shall lead to your inescapable downfall this day. The creature articulated in human speech, its laughter echoing with madness. Yi Yaya's countenance paled. She had not foreseen such an abrupt turn of events. What is transpiring? My body is rendered immobile. In an instant, the bloodthirsty centipede's form became rigid, as though every vein within it had been constricted, its limbs stripped of blood and vitality. What on earth is unfolding? Chun Yin grasped the centipede's tentacle and wrenched it from his chest. How audacious for one to attempt to siphon his blood. This was growing ever more captivating. Chun Yin, you have lost so much blood yet remain untouched? Yaya, still in disbelief, beheld as Chun Yin unexpectedly propelled a large black umbrella toward her. Open the umbrella. Why must we unfurl the umbrella? Simply adhere to the instructions. Very well. Having just been rescued by Chun Yin, Yaya complied and unfurled the umbrella. Chun Yin surveyed the formidable centipede, a smirk playing upon his lips. A sharp, crisp sound echoed through the air. Boom! Hundreds of veins within the centipede ruptured. It resembled a watermelon bursting, and in an instant, the room was inundated with splattered blood. Yaya, shielded by the umbrella, was spared from the torrent of blood, blinking in astonishment as she comprehended Chun Yin's intent. Meanwhile, the blood droplets that splattered nearby inexplicably levitated around Chun Yin, as though manipulated by some unseen force, leaving him entirely unscathed. Countless droplets converged in Chun Yin's palm, forming a dagger of blood. Thud! Chun Yin plunged the dagger through the demon's chest. Are you attempting to mock me? Chapter 8. A new sequence acquired. Blood Moon Great Bow. Chun Yin effortlessly vanquished the centipede. Containment? Such a concept is non-existent. Slaying monsters fortifies him. Why abstain from such endeavors? Blood intensity permanently increased by 2. Current blood intensity 10. Divine resonance effect triggered. Divine gifts received. Simultaneously, the splattered blood returned to Chun Yin's being. Reclining upon the sofa, he would not succumb to blood loss, and although the wound was devoid of pain, it undeniably warranted treatment. Wow! Chun Yin, you are remarkable! Yi Yaya exclaimed, unable to contain her admiration. Who is Chun Yin? Have you mistaken my name? Very well, Brother Chun. Look at you showcasing your prowess. Are you injured? I possess a healing pill. You ought to take it. Yi Yaya proffered a pill to Chun Yin. Another pill? Chun Yin chuckled, recognizing that the enchanting women from 749 all appeared to take pleasure in bestowing upon him medicinal pills. What does it imply to say, aside from you? Sister Ya, is there anyone else so magnanimous? This item requires a staggering 5 contribution points. Indeed, there exists another, with whom I have no prior acquaintance. She merely tossed it to me and departed, her generosity so pronounced that it led me to suspect she harbored ulterior motives. Are you insinuating that I am miserly? Chun Yin opted to forego further jest and summoned Amy. The task is accomplished. Allow the cleanup crew to take charge. Target confirmed deceased. Mission fulfilled. Rewards have been credited. You may consult the 749 app for further details. Chun Yin accessed the terminal app to discover that both monetary rewards and contribution points have been credited. Now, let us explore the nature of this so-called divine gift. With a mere thought, 3 cards materialized before Chunyan's gaze. 1. Acquire a random sequence ability of the Slaughter Type 2. Increase blood regeneration speed by 5-3. Fill 10 spiritual apertures, 3 choices. Is there any ambiguity? Only the first option grants a coveted ability for further drawing. This is a rare opportunity for card acquisition. Who could possibly decline? Without a moment's hesitation, Chunyan chose the first card. In an instant, a radiant burst of crimson light illuminated the surroundings. Authority Sequence 015, Blood Moon Great Bow of Ratani. Description: Ratani, a formidable general in the service of the god of slaughter, is renowned for his prowess in long-range combat. His signature ability, the Blood Moon Great Bow, once released an arrow that spanned 1,000 miles, obliterating 100,000 adversaries. Primary ability: summon the Blood Moon Great Bow and unleash a highly potent arrow. This extraordinary ability consumes 70 of the user's blood. Sequence 15, a distinguished rank. Ordinary individuals may draw sequences ranging from 11 to 100, which is deemed quite remarkable. However, the cost of utilizing this ability is exorbitantly steep. It siphons away 70 of one's blood. Without the Blood Monarch talent, would using it even once not lead to one's untimely demise? Fortunately, I possess that talent, allowing for seamless adaptation. Moreover, this capability is distinctly long-range, compensating for the Blood Monarch's limitation regarding blood transformation, which falters beyond a certain distance from a body. I sincerely hope its power does not disappoint me. 749 Office. Deputy Chief, I have been informed that your esteemed daughter undertook a mission alongside the recently arrived Chunyan. Upon reviewing the mission report, I found it executed with extraordinary efficiency. It appears you have accomplished your objectives, as Chunyan has eclipsed your daughter. Completing the task in under 2 days is indeed praiseworthy, particularly given that it involved vanquishing monsters of a superior tier. A burgeoning star. The deputy chief nodded with a smile. Yet, there exists a minor flaw. What might that be? The demise of the demon was lamentably tragic. The scene was utterly excruciating. Had it been contained, it would have been flawless. Alas, it is merely the child's inaugural mission. Achieving it is already commendable. In the days to come, as they mature, containment will become effortless. Observing the mentors extolling their pupils, Li Xiao felt a sense of gratification. The contribution points he bestowed upon that young man were not in vain. Haha. When a student accomplishes a task, their mentor too reaps the rewards. He chuckled as he unscrewed his thermos and savored a sip of goji berry tea, only to notice Director Zheng approaching. Is there something you require, Director Zheng? Director Li, when you find a moment, could you facilitate Chunyan's collaboration with my little prodigy on tasks? I shall treat you to a meal another day. Certainly. However, Director Zheng, it seems a button on your shirt has come undone. You lecherous old man, what are you gazing at? This signifies the commencement of the countdown, set at 74 hours, to the initiation of the mission within the reverse world. In the ensuing 2 days, Chunyan devoted himself to rigorous preparation. Under the astute guidance of Director Li, he undertook ardent training throughout the day and immersed himself in a rejuvenating bath of spiritual liquid by night. His combat skills and proficiency surged at a remarkable rate. By the conclusion of this 2-day period, Chunyan had ascended to level 37. While this advancement was indeed gratifying, a sense of unease lingered within him. He harbored an intense desire to vanquish monsters. Only by defeating adversaries could he augment his vitality and elevate his combat capabilities. On this day, Director Li apprised Chunyan and Yi Yaya of the forthcoming event. Tonight, there will be a simulated training session for intern investigators. Simulated training? They inquired. You will engage in combat with virtual monsters generated by Amy within the training grounds. Virtual? How uninspiring. Chunyan's enthusiasm diminished instantaneously. Only by vanquishing tangible demons could he truly advance. Do not be so quick to reject. A multitude of intern investigators will partake, and the rewards for the foremost achievers are indeed considerable. The spirit-enhancing pill, a rare elixir that can be consumed only once by each participant, manifests its optimal effects when ingested during the spirit communication realm. Yaya acquiesced. Indeed, my father once bestowed one upon me, and it instantaneously opened 30 spirit meridians. Damned nepotism. Chun Yin could not suppress a scoff. From this moment forth, consider yourself my junior, and sister will procure one for you. What does that sound? I should concentrate on securing the pinnacle position in this simulated training instead, he replied. Li Xiao smiled. Are you not eager to embark on missions? Should you achieve first place, I shall make an exception to champion your cause. Chun Yin felt an immediate surge of vitality. Yi Yaya remarked that Xie Yi was also hastening back to partake in the training. He occupies the lowest tier in our 304 group and is particularly fond of uttering inconsequential nonsense. It has been some time since I last had the opportunity to confront him. I find myself quite unaccustomed to this absence. Before my arrival, the atmosphere in 304 was rather bleak. Soon, evening descended upon us. The training grounds thrummed with lively activity, filled with animated conversations. Nearly 100 intern investigators were present, including Wang Xiao, who had previously clashed with Chun Yin and the distant, enigmatic Lu Lin. There are numerous formidable contenders. Several are recent additions to 749. Yi Yaya eagerly rubbed her hands together in anticipation. At that moment, Amy proclaimed the regulations for the simulated training. The rules dictated that teams of 3 would defend a designated stronghold against relentless waves of zombies. Each zombie dispatched would earn the team 1 point, while a zombie breaching the stronghold would result in a deduction of 1 point. The team accumulating the highest score would be declared the victor. Xiaoya, let us unite as a team. With just the 2 of us, we should be invincible, Yi Yaya suggested. A vein pulsed on her forehead as she replied. Do you believe it to be that straightforward? In competitions of this nature, free team formation is unfeasible. Amy assigns teams based on sophisticated data analytics. Data analytics allocation? The more skilled players shall be paired with those less proficient to ensure an equitable distribution of abilities, granting every team an opportunity for victory. Anticipation builds as the team arrangements will soon be revealed. Shortly thereafter, Amy announced the groupings on the terminal, urging everyone to locate their teammates. The simulation training is set to commence in half an hour. As anticipated, Chun Yin was assigned to a different group from Yaya. While Yaya may not possess Chun Yin's formidable prowess, she remains among the elite 10, surpassing 99 of the trainee investigators. Chun Yin, should I emerge victorious, you shall address me as Sister Ya. Very well, Xiaoya. Brother Chun shall not show you any mercy. The 2 then parted ways in search of their respective teammates. During her journey, Chun Yin brushed past the enigmatic figure of Lu Lin. I appreciate the elixir you provided last time. Chun Yin initiated the conversation. Lu Lin responded with a slight nod, her heart fluttering with delight. Although her words may falter, her thoughts danced vividly. We attend the same university. I witnessed your piano performance at the freshman gala. Might we forge a friendship? This was the sentiment that Lu Lin yearned to express from the depths of her heart. Yet her demeanor remained unflinching. After mulling over her thoughts repeatedly in her mind, Chun Yin was summoned by another. A thwarted endeavor at camaraderie. Wow, your brother Chen? I can hardly believe we are on the same team. Haha, I feel so fortunate, exclaimed Chung Su, one of the teammates, evidently elated. What is your ability? I'm rather inept. Haha, if I were otherwise, how could I possibly be paired with you, Brother Chun? Chun Yin. Following some discourse, Chun Yin discovered that he possessed wind abilities. High-tier wind powers could be deadly and elusive, akin to celestial armaments, yet he could only conjure wind barriers, which offered limited practicality. Before long, the 3rd teammate made her entrance. She was a girl, possessing a doll-like visage and large, round spectacles, clad in a black tracksuit that accentuated her alluring figure. What a quintessential anime glasses girl. Greetings, I am Tang Ji. Her timid demeanor hinted at her shyness. Her gaze fixed upon the ground, seemingly unable to perceive her shoelaces. Pray, enlighten us about your abilities, inquired Chun Yin. I am a member of the War God sequence, specializing in gene liberation, which augments physical strength. And you? Chung Su chuckled heartily. You appear so delicate, yet you possess a physical enhancement ability? Come now, strike me. I beg your pardon. Tang Ji bowed in apology, her fist clenched tightly. With a resounding impact, Her punch connected with Chung Su's chest, nearly doubling him over, causing the air around them to ripple visibly. Chung Su collapsed to his knees, while rising in his throat. "I am truly sorry," Tang Ji exclaimed, bowing repeatedly in contrition. Chung Su's expression conveyed, "Alas, I am ineffectual. I have fallen." Tang Ji's countenance mirrored his. "I am so sorry. I am of no use, QAQ." "What a calamity. Amy, I have a suspicion that I am being targeted. Are these groupings genuinely equitable?" Chun Yin initially jested. However, his words were inadvertently overheard by a passerby, who responded with a voice tinged with derision. "This is Amy's assessment, derived from extensive data analysis, and it is neither personalized nor prejudiced against anyone." Chun Yin turned to behold a striking young man with crimson-dyed hair approaching, clad in black gloves and leather boots, resembling a suave secret agent. "Who might you be?" he inquired. "I am Ren Xiaojia. I arrived here 6 months prior to your arrival. I have heard whispers of your recent prominence. What do you imply by that?" Chun Yin retorted. "Instead of lamenting the inequities of the groupings or criticizing your teammates for their shortcomings, it will be far more advantageous to channel your efforts into self-improvement. That is the essence of my message." Ren Xiaojia stood with his hands nestled in his pockets, embodying the demeanor of a senior imparting wisdom to a junior. "What is that adage? The emperor remains calm, while the eunuchs fret. Perhaps it would serve you better to bow out gracefully. I find your demeanor rather unappealing. Are you insulting me?" Chapter 9. Simulation Training, New Abilities Unveiled. Ren Xiaojia was part of the Fire God sequence, a classification often associated with a simplistic intellect paired with formidable physical strength. He was not entirely divorced from that characterization, as his fiery temperament and quickness to anger were well-known traits. As his words dissipated, a fist enveloped in flames was raised, poised just above Chun Yin's head. Yet, Ren Xiaojia's movement was abruptly halted midair, for a blood-red spike was simultaneously suspended a mere inch from his eye. Should his fist descend, the bloody spike would inevitably pierce through his eyeball. Both parties remained ensnared in a tense standoff, the air thick with anticipation. At that moment, the intercom crackled to life. "All groups, please proceed to the holographic simulation training room. The simulation is about to commence." Repeating, "All groups, please enter." Ren Xiaojia lowered his fist and remarked, "I do not wish to intimidate you. Henceforth, I shall instruct my 2 teammates to remain stationary. I hope you do not lag too far behind. Xinggu, let us hasten. It is time to proceed." In the office, the mentors of Team 749 had already tuned into the live broadcast to relish the unfolding spectacle. "Who do you believe will secure the first place?" inquired the deputy chief. "Your daughter Xiaoya's team is indeed formidable. At the very least, her companions are quite capable. It is difficult to ascertain. The competition is fierce. Numerous skilled investigators who have been engaged in external assignments have returned." Is Ren Xiaojia from the Fire God sequence also participating? He joined Team 749 half a year ago. His capacity for destruction during missions has exceeded his task revenues, and he has even faced confinement. He not only possesses immense power, but also a diverse array of abilities, bestowing upon him a considerable advantage. Zheng Xin, I have long been aware of your niece's remarkable talents. Now we shall truly witness her capabilities. What do you foresee for Chun Yin's accomplishments? Were this a personal endeavor, I am convinced he could rival Ren Xiaojia, who has been engaged in the competition for half a year. However, it is unfortunate that this is a collaborative contest, and one cannot overlook the apparent lack of skill in Chun Yin's 2 companions. Indeed, it is bewildering how Amy orchestrated the teams. The disparity appears profoundly unfair. In my estimation, Chun Yin's team would be fortunate to secure a position within the top 10. As Chun Yin's team entered the holographic simulation training chamber, they found themselves enveloped by stark white walls, stripped of any superfluous distractions. The exercise is about to commence. The scene is being conjured. In an instant, the surroundings morphed into a desolate wilderness. The ground was littered with fallen leaves and parched grass, the air heavy with the earthy aroma, while a refreshing evening breeze stirred, accompanied by the soft, rustling sounds. It was astonishingly lifelike. One could scarcely perceive its artificiality. Suddenly, In the distance, a colossal zombie matriarch emerged, her mouth agape, with highly corrosive saliva dripping onto the ground, rising in billowing white mist. Simultaneously, a vast horde of corpses manifested around her. Those grotesque, decaying zombies surged towards the three individuals. Ah! Tang Ji shrieked in terror, her trembling legs curling up in fear. 1 point was awarded for each zombie vanquished, and a point was deducted for each that advanced. It appeared the matriarch remained stationary. Hold the line. Chun Yin uttered those 2 words and plunged directly into the mass of zombies. Blood morphed into blades, and a tempest of strikes erupted. Limbs and heads soared chaotically. The squad's score began to ascend steadily. In a neighboring room, Ren Xiaojia's team also made their entrance. He cast a cool glance at his 2 teammates behind him. You too, remain in place. Brother Jia, although we may not possess great strength, we can still assist you in accumulating points. Unnecessary. He aspired to achieve victory in this simulation, training solely through his own abilities. Depending on his teammates, would likely afford Chun Yin a convenient excuse, as he might claim their inadequacy undermined his pride, thereby leaving no opportunity for mercy. Ren Xiaojia plunged into the throng of monsters, delivering a formidable punch to the ground. With a resounding boom, nearly 10 zombies were cast aside in an instant. Simultaneously, Lu Lin, embodying the spirit of a lone wolf, disregarded his 2 companions as he charged forth to unleash chaos. Yaya stamped her feet in exasperation, exclaiming in frustration, "Why can't these zombies be electrocuted? Is this scenario truly plausible?" The simulation spanned a total of 10 minutes, of which 9 had already elapsed. The final minute. Ranking 1. Ren Xiaojia's team, 1,823 points. 2. Lu Lin's team, 1,659 points. 3. Wang Zhao's team, 1,599 points. 4. Yi Yaya's team, 1,522 points. 12. Chun Yin's team, 999 points indeed. Chun Yin's team trails significantly behind the frontrunners. The instructors have delivered their assessments, indicating that Ren Xiaojia is poised to secure first place in this simulation. His innate talents provide him with a considerable edge, enabling him to thrive even in the absence of support from his teammates. After all, he has been honing his skills for 6 months. It is only to be expected that he would surpass his peers, which seems somewhat inequitable. Zheng Xian's niece has also proven to be remarkably adept, managing to maintain a close second position. However, Chun Yin's circumstances are rather lamentable. His team is inherently disadvantaged, and his skills are ill-suited for confronting formidable large-scale monsters. This child nearly ascended after entering the 749. Encountering some adversity is not necessarily detrimental. At that moment, Li Xiao abruptly rose to his feet, fixating his gaze upon the expansive screen. What, pray tell, does this child intend to do? Chun Yin was acutely aware that his team's score was far from commendable. He had been contemplating a query since earlier. If our aim is to vanquish the lesser zombies to accumulate points, what then is the purpose of the colossal zombie matriarch's emergence? Is it solely to instill dread within us? Given the necessity to defend within the designated perimeter, one might assume that a rational individual's instinct would be to remain steadfast, preventing the zombies' incursion to avoid penalties while eliminating them for points. What if I were to vanquish the zombie matriarch? Fascinating. With this thought, Chun Yin withdrew. You two hold the fort and grant me some time. Understood. In that instant, Chung Su's wind barrier manifested, effectively repelling the relentless assault of the undead. Tang Ji confronted the laggards, delivering a formidable blow that shattered the skulls of the zombies. As for Chun Yin, he activated his newfound ability without hesitation. Slaughter Sequence 015, Blood Moon of Ratani's Bow. He took the stance of drawing a bow, and a magnificent blood-red great bow materialized before him. Concurrently, 70% of his blood transformed into a cascade of crimson droplets, surging forth to coalesce upon the bowstring, forming an arrow. This blood-hued arrow radiated a subtle dark crimson luminescence, evoking the haunting beauty of a blood moon illuminating the night sky. With the charge complete, Chun Yin released his grip. Boom! The air erupted in a circular explosion. The arrow soared through the void, striking the zombie matriarch's head with exquisite precision. Another resounding sound reverberated through the space. The room momentarily flashed white, reminiscent of a malfunctioning television screen. The holographic projection of the desolate wilderness dissipated, and all the zombies vanished. The room reverted to its original state. On the immaculate superalloy walls, a gaping hole was left by the arrow, accompanied by a crackling sound of electricity. What transpired? The simulation training facility was damaged. Chung Su stood utterly astonished. Chun Yin smirked, having not anticipated that this simulation training possessed a means of breach. In the next moment, Amy's emotionless announcement echoed. Chun Yin's team has accomplished the hidden achievement in simulation training. Total points, 5,000. Chapter 10. Claiming the Apex. Embracing the challenge of the haunted house rampage 1 minute prior. Rin Xiaojia found this competition rather monotonous. He held the top rank, with not a single trace of Chun Yin among the leading 10. He was, however, eager to witness Chun Yin's reaction upon their inevitable encounter. It would undoubtedly be a sight to behold. Would that rebellious countenance betray any feelings of resentment or humiliation? In that instant, the leaderboard shifted. Every team in the top 10 tumbled down by 1 position, while a certain team surged forth like a dark horse, ascending from the depths to seize first place. 1. Chun Yin's team, 5,999 points. 2. Rin Xiaojia's team, 1,823 points. His pupils dilated in disbelief. What was transpiring? Did Amy malfunction? Chun Yin's team has accomplished a hidden achievement in simulation training. Total points 5,000. Hidden achievement? Was such a concept ever introduced before? He had never encountered it. Does this imply that Chun Yin is the inaugural individual to accomplish a concealed achievement? Rin Xiaojia staggered back 2 paces, his gaze fixed on the immense point discrepancy, his spirit plummeting from lofty heights to profound depths. How could he possibly hope to catch up now? In the office, even the mentors exhibited expressions of incredulity. Is this truly real? Even I was oblivious to the existence of hidden achievements. That is quite commonplace under normal circumstances. Individuals typically fortify the outer perimeter, neglecting the unconventional strategy of actively confronting the zombie mother beyond the designated defensive zones. Li Xiao adjusted his spectacles. Although his tone was notably composed, it was apparent to all that a sense of pride resonated within his words. It was as if he were declaring, "Did you witness that? This is what my This young man is remarkable, managing to excel in a domain where he is not particularly proficient. He is gifted, capable, and astute. This young man's future knows no bounds. Deputy Director, I find the previous draw somewhat deficient in its rigor. I hereby request a re-evaluation of the proceedings. The simulation test has officially concluded, and Chun Yin's team has ascended to the pinnacle with a remarkable lead, distancing themselves from all other competitors. Even now, 2 of his companions remain in a perplexed state. Do not linger idly. Let us depart, Chun Yin urged. Chung Su suddenly returned to reality, springing from the ground in sheer exhilaration. How extraordinary! I am at a loss for words to articulate my emotions. Chun, are you filming a movie? Initially, he had merely intended to ride the coattails of others, harboring no grievances about a lower ranking. Yet unexpectedly, they have achieved first place. What a delightful revelation. Although the coveted first place reward, the Spirit Elevation Pill, was designated solely for the most valuable player, all participants would still be granted other accolades. I apologize for hindering you, Tang Ji said, biting her lip in a moment of embarrassment. First place, and you're apologizing? Lift your spirits. Chun Yin responded with a warm smile. Moreover, your performance was truly remarkable. Tang Ji's eyes gleamed with delight, as Chun Yin's praise felt even more rewarding than winning first place itself. Gradually, teams departed from the simulation room, their conversations buzzing with excitement. I never anticipated Chun Yin's triumph. The hidden achievement is utterly astonishing. Rin Xiaojia traveled back to the year 749 for this moment, only to encounter a significant setback, as he was surpassed by a new investigator. I suspect he shall find little rest tonight. Wang Xiao, who was the first to confront Chen Yin, had once considered his own abilities considerable. Yet now he has come to acknowledge the chasm that separates him from Chen Yin. Even a formidable figure like Ren Xiaojia had stumbled. He understood that competing with Chen Yin would only lead to his own humiliation. As fortune would have it, just as Chen Yin emerged, he caught sight of Ren Xiaojia approaching from a distance. With a grave demeanor, Ren Xiaojia passed by Chen Yin, proclaiming, "This time you were fortunate. I anticipate the chance to confront you directly next time." Indeed, he was convinced that this test bore no genuine significance. In actual combat, he harbored confidence in securing a decisive victory. "Certainly, Lu Wenjie. Let us seek an opportunity to engage in a spar." "You." Ren Xiaojia was taken aback. His defenses utterly dismantled. He had not foreseen that the other party would fail to even recall his name. His chest felt as though it might burst with exasperation. His face flushed with indignation, and he hastily departed the venue. At that moment, Yi Yaya rushed over, delivering a resounding clap to Chen Yin's back. "Impressive. I never imagined you would excel and secure first place. Truly deserving of being one of us from 304. What more is there to say? Your Chengge will always remain your Chengge. Flatter. Allow us to embark on a late-night culinary adventure. The treat is on me. I shall introduce you to Lao Xie, who remains blissfully unaware that you are his new roommate. Very well. You all proceed to the cafeteria. I shall join you shortly." Chen Yin first went to claim the reward for his first-place ranking. The spirit-enhancing pill was now within his grasp. With this, he could elevate his cultivation to greater heights. A most exhilarating prospect. Simultaneously, a call came from Director Li. "Chen Yin, your application has been approved. You may commence your official mission tomorrow." "Thank you, Director Li." Chen Yin felt that his decision to come to 749 was undoubtedly prudent, surrounded by a dependable mentor and engaging companions. In the cafeteria, Yi Yaya had ordered an extravagant array of barbecue and was already indulging with great enthusiasm. Yaya, a young man clad in a vibrant yellow tracksuit, rushed over. He was Xie Yi, one of the roommates from 304. "It feels as though we haven't seen each other in ages. Please, take a seat and enjoy your meal," Yi Yaya suggested, casting a fleeting glance in his direction. "This barbecue emanates an utterly exquisite aroma. Do you ever cease your incessant prattle?" She continued, "By the way, that Chen Yin possesses remarkable strength. I have heard he is a recent arrival, and I would never have anticipated his ascendance to first place. Look, there he is." Xie Yi turned abruptly, his eyes widening in astonishment. "Chen Yin, our new roommate from 304, under the tutelage of Director Li," he noted. Yi Yaya succinctly introduced him. "Xie Yi, his flaw lies in his relentless chatter, and he possesses no substantial merits. Greetings. Chen, you exude an impressive aura, and indeed, you are formidable," Xie Yi exclaimed, his face aglow with surprise. "It is a pleasure to meet you. We shall be comrades from this moment forward." Without a moment's hesitation, Chen Yin seated himself and commenced his feast. "You have graciously hosted a celebratory banquet in my honor, little Yaya. How generous of you." Xie Yi gazed in disbelief at Chen Yin, astonished by his audacity to address Yaya so casually. Even more astonishing was Yaya's indifference, as she merely cast a scornful glance in his direction. "What is transpiring? Has 304 undergone a metamorphosis? From this moment forth, you shall refer to him as Chengge. As for myself, it will depend on my whims," remarked Yaya nonchalantly. "Tian Yi, I, your humble servant, have suffered under the tyranny of the previous despot for far too long. Now that you have ascended, 304 shall finally embrace a new atmosphere and visage." "Ouch! Cease your incessant chatter. You resemble a bothersome fly." Xie Yi chuckled playfully, declaring, "Did you know? According to scientific research, those who frequently indulge in nighttime barbecues tend to consume even more barbecue. I cannot believe you." Yaya forgefully, just ji aside. That evening, Chen Yin ingested the spirit-enhancing pill. His abundant spiritual energy once again permeated the 30 spiritual orifices within his being. His level ascended dramatically from level 37 to level 67. The most immediate sensation was the restoration of the spiritual energy depleted during the arduous testing, and it felt even more copious than during his zenith. An abundance of spiritual energy signifies enduring resilience in battle, as the utilization of sequence abilities is profoundly contingent upon it. Undoubtedly, the essential physical attributes have undergone a significant enhancement. Concurrently, Chun Yin was assigned a new task from the Divine Series. Current task: annihilate any second-tier demon or monster. Note: this task serves as a prerequisite for a realm breakthrough. A prerequisite task denotes that it must be fulfilled prior to ascending to level 100, thereby facilitating a proper realm advancement. Upon consulting with Director Li, Chun Yin discovered that this was a task reserved exclusively for the Chosen Ones. Ordinary individuals are not mandated to complete prerequisite tasks. As long as they meet the standards of understanding and aptitude, they may progress. Thus, he disclosed to Director Li his status as a Chosen One, although this was no longer a clandestine matter. After all, his remarkable combat capabilities had long incited speculation among many. Xiaoya, have you ever been assigned a similar prerequisite task for your advancement? Indeed, I was advised to confront a lightning strike head-on. Thus, amid a tempest, I ascended the mountain and was struck once. It felt akin to enduring a lightning tribulation. Yaya is part of the Thunder God series, which is entirely fitting. I, on the other hand, belong to the Slaughter series, where the sole objective is to eradicate monsters. Yet, this task, though seemingly straightforward, conceals its true challenge in the pursuit of second-tier demons or monsters. Chun Yin opened the application to peruse the task section when a particular task titled Haunting at the Haunted House captured his attention. Case file number: CB9822, location: Tianhai City, Suishur Ancient Town. Overview: within the ancient town, an old, dilapidated house stands, long forsaken. Recently, for university students embarked on an exploration of this abode. 3 males and 1 female. Yet, ultimately, only the female emerged alive, claiming to have witnessed a ghostly apparition. Current progress: the local security bureau dispatched 2 officers for investigation. However, they too have failed to return. It is suspected that supernatural entities inhabit the premises, prompting the reassignment of the task to Bureau 749. Task objective: determine the whereabouts of the 3 missing male university students and the 2 security officers, while unraveling the mystery behind the haunting. Should any supernatural entities be encountered, they must be contained or eradicated. Reward of 15 contribution points and 30,000 currency. Chapter 11. I have arrived. This place is now under my jurisdiction. After reviewing the task file, Chun Yin commented, "This appears to be quite daunting. It is no surprise that no one has dared to undertake this assignment. Firstly, several individuals have mysteriously vanished without leaving the haunted house, suggesting a grave likelihood of their demise. Furthermore, the scant information at hand renders one entirely ignorant of the types of supernatural entities that may inhabit this locale. Should they possess formidable power, a rash approach by an inexperienced investigator could result in catastrophic repercussions. In contrast, seasoned investigators tend to favor assignments where the parameters are well defined, featuring reduced risk and greater simplicity. However, the senior investigators at Bureau 749 are often preoccupied, frequently deployed across the nation. Chapter 12. All beasts shall perish together. Tang Ji stepped forward with obedience, her gaze fixed upon the imposing figure before her, a man who towered over her by a full head. "I implore you, please, just leave." The girl bore a certain familiarity, yet his expectations of her fiery disposition were entirely unforeseen. "Today, I shall impart a lesson on behalf of your elders," Lei Zhe proclaimed, raising his hand. In the next heartbeat, a flash of crimson blade light sliced through the air. Sizzle. Vivid droplets of blood danced before her eyes. "What?" Riser recoiled 2 steps, lowering his gaze to witness his own reflection. Chapter 13. The Catastrophic Demon. The Birth of the Ghost Infant. Just as Chun Yin was poised to take action, boom, the structure behind him suddenly crumbled, reduced to mere rubble. Amidst the swirling dust, a dense aura of ghostly energy lingered. "Captain, the cleansing heart pill." Tang Ji presented the elixir, and Chun Yin was astonished to discover its genuine efficacy. As he ingested the pill, a sense of clarity returned to his mind. Yet, despite having vanquished the female ghost and already reaped the rewards, Why did the oppressive aura of ghostly energy still linger? Chapter 14. What? He exterminated the ghost infant. 10 miles beyond the ancient town, a modest Taoist temple perched upon a verdant hill. Lu Yun hastily made his way back to the temple, breathless and visibly shaken. Alas, I had merely intended to capture a female ghost, never anticipating the presence of a ghost infant lurking in the shadows. Fortunately, I did not encounter it earlier. Otherwise, I would have faced certain doom. Upon reflection, it seems those two must not have survived. The resentment of the ghostly infant is overwhelming upon its emergence. It would wreak havoc indiscriminately, and they could hardly be its match. With this realization, Lu Yun finally exhaled in relief. He stretched languidly, intending to rest in the temple before devising further plans. Chapter 15. Provocation and deduction of disciplinary points in the training grounds for intern investigators. Zhao Qian was engaging in shot-put practice with her close friend, tossing the heavy sphere back and forth to build strength. She was the senior who had previously guided Chen Yan to join the 749 unit. Qian, you wouldn't believe it. There's a formidable newcomer. He achieved a perfect score of 100 on the assessment. He is astonishingly strong. Huh, is his name Chen Yan? Zhao Qian replied with a proud smile. Of course. I am aware. We hail from the same esteemed university. I am virtually his senior. Chapter 16. Enough chit-chat. I am in a hurry within the confines of dormitory 304. Chen Yan and Yi Yaya reclined on the sofa, indulging in snacks. He busied himself with tidying the dormitory, not out of obligation, but rather inspired by the profound influence of Li Xiao, which had cultivated his appreciation for cleanliness. Chen Yan, you are truly inconsiderate, are you not? Yi Yaya exclaimed as she nibbled on potato chips. You possess such good fortune, yet fail to address me as Sister Ya. I've been thoroughly exasperated by that pretentious woman, Song Jinxiu. I could have seized the opportunity to torment her. Haha, who is unaware that you are the daughter of the deputy director. With your presence, the opposing party would not dare to act with arrogance. Chapter 17. Crushing Victory. Chen Yan enters the reverse world, Ren Xiaojie's palm ignited with flames. He was indeed a chosen one, wielding the fire god sequence 010, True Flame Explosion. He possessed the ability to detonate the flames within his grasp, unleashing a formidable shockwave of fire. For him, claiming victory was a mere task. He simply needed to approach Chen Yan and ignite the flames to send him soaring. Rest assured, there would be ample time. Ren Xiaojie lowered his center of gravity, his palms directed backward. Boom! Flames erupted from his palms like two blazing thrusters. Chapter 18. You didn't think I wouldn't strike again, did you? The number of survivors indicated cannot be mistaken. Why is there an additional person among us? It is terrifying. Chen Yan replied in a hushed tone. It is quite simple. One of us is not human. You mean there are demons masquerading as humans among us? How could that be conceivable? This is supposed to be a sanctuary. Indeed, it is a sanctuary, and those malevolent entities ought not to threaten us during this period. Nevertheless, should the sanctuary falter, the potential for calamity looms. A shiver traversed the spines of all present. Chapter 19. Now, it is my turn to hunt the demons. Current number of survivors. 10 at last. The tally of survivors corresponded with the heads visible, affirming that Chen Yan had not erred. Pray, do not regard me with such scrutiny. I am simply exercising caution. Chen Yan sheathed his blood-drenched blade, while the wounds adorning his hands and back mended swiftly, attesting to the might of the royal bloodline. Only 10 minutes remained within the sanctuary. May I inquire your name? Chun. Chun, you are the 7th. Chapter 20. Unveiling the concealed nest. Chen Yan breaks through the realm. What transpires? An increasing number of individuals cautiously emerged to evaluate the situation. In the distance, 2 unmistakable heads of monstrous birds were discernible upon the street. Those were the very birds that had earlier circled ominously above. Suddenly, a profound realization dawned upon them, prompting everyone to glance upward, only to find the foreboding sky now devoid of the creatures. They are lifeless. Both have perished. My goodness, it was that brother from 749. He single-handedly vanquished 2 second-tier demons. Chapter 21. Successful Breakthrough. Extracting the divine series' limitless killing realm after a brief pause, two zombified figures stumbled forth from the alley. Their skin was unmistakably decaying, saliva dripped uncontrollably from their mouths, their eyes devoid of life, and an overwhelming stench of rot enveloped them. In that moment, the others remained engrossed in idle chatter, utterly oblivious to the abnormality. "What is that horrid odor? What have you two been up to? Did you neglect to cleanse yourselves after? Wait, something seems amiss with them." Before the words could fully escape, the two lunged at them like ferocious beasts. Chapter 22. Encountering a third-tier dog demon, Domain Unleashed. Chen Yin sprinted towards the underground parking lot from earlier. With everyone else perished, Luo Xiaoke trailed behind Chen Yin to the sealed lair. Previously, Chen Yin's strength had been insufficient to shatter the chains binding this place. Now, it was time to make another attempt. He bent his bow and drew the string, fully extending the blood moon bow. Bang! An arrow was loosed. The black iron chains sealing the lair shattered with a resounding crack. It felt astonishingly effortless. Indeed, his power had significantly surged following the breakthrough. Brother Chun. Chapter 23. Slaying the Dog Demon. Acquiring the item Blood Fusion Divine Crystal as Chun Yin tormented the Dog Demon. An unexpected turn of events unfolded. A formidable demonic aura erupted from within him, causing innumerable fissures to spread across the ground. "This is dire. Eliminate it swiftly," a man lying prostrate on the earth exclaimed. The dog demon's form rapidly swelled, metamorphosing from human to beast, breaking free from its confines as a towering, 2-meter-tall black dog manifested before them. "Oh!" Chen Yin's eyes glimmered with intrigue. "Have you unleashed your second stage?" The previously eased hearts of the others plunged into despair once more. "It is finished." Chapter 24. I perceive both of you are hard of hearing. What now? In Tianhai City, Haiging District, the Luo family. "Greetings, I am an investigator from 749. Depart at once." This investigator had been dispatched by Director Li specifically to recruit Luo Xiaoke. However, upon arrival, he was met with a frigid reception and summarily expelled by the Luo family. Luo Xiaoke remained resolute. "Father, I wish to join 749. I have already made a promise to them. How can you act thus?" "Join what nonsense? 749? Our Luo family possesses the resources to nurture you." Chapter 25. What a coincidence. We meet again. Yuan Jun and Han Feng simultaneously lifted their gazes. Initially, their hearts were filled with confusion rather than indignation. How audacious of a mere intern investigator to confront a formal investigator upon arrival. Who bestowed upon him such boldness? Liang Jingru? Furthermore, these two appeared empty-handed, arriving without even a token gift, clearly unaware of the intricacies of social etiquette. Under these circumstances, a reprimand was warranted. An intern investigator, is it? Quite the fiery temperament. "I see." Han Feng stood up with a smile, abruptly seizing the newspaper. Chapter 26. The vampire, Baron Alan, upon catching sight of Chen Yin. Luo Xiaoke's eyes instantly sparkled with delight. Brother Chen Yin. She had not foreseen Chen Yin's personal visit to her abode, which filled her heart with elation. Yet, upon observing a particularly exquisite young woman beside Chen Yin, an inexplicable wave of discomfort enveloped her. Do not run about recklessly. Just as Luo Xiaoke intended to rush to Chen Yin's side, her father's firm grasp restrained her. Chen Yin's flamboyant entrance instantly incited the ire of two factions. "Who are you? Outsiders, depart." Chapter 27. Midnight Assault. Chen Yin and his companion engage. That evening, Chen Yin and his companion remained at the Luo residence. The table overflowed with delicacies as the trio convened for a discussion, a heater installed to counteract Lu Lin's chill. "Lu Lin, please cool the cola." With a mere touch of his finger to the glass, ice cubes promptly emerged in the cola. "Wow, how impressive," Luo Xiaoke applauded. After several hours of deliberation, bolstered by the connections of the Luo family, Chen Yin amassed a trove of invaluable information. Chapter 28. Seizing the vampire bloodline, Chen Yin and his companion arrived at the port, where they swiftly identified the opulent cruise ship anchored at the shore. They divided their responsibilities. One ascended while the other descended. Chen Yin ascended to the top-tier VIP room in pursuit of the vampire, while Lu Lin descended to locate the imprisoned girl. In the surveillance room of the cruise ship, the monitor detected their intrusion and promptly informed the head of the Wang family. "Sir, an incursion has occurred. It is the 749 investigators from earlier. How did they uncover this location? Where are they?" The male figure advances purposefully. Chapter 29, A Defining Action. After triumphing over the vampire, Chen Yin readied himself to descend and meet with Lu Lin. "Amy, kindly assist me in determining Lu Lin's coordinates." During their collaboration on the mission, they were able to employ the super AI to access each other's real-time location data. Coordinates identified. A virtual map materialized before Chen Yin, aglow with a blue holographic display. He cast a fleeting glance, his mind assimilating the information as he pressed onward. Along his route, he encountered numerous corpses, remnants of ice crystals strewn across the corridor. It appeared that the members of the Wang family who obstructed his passage had fallen prey to her blade. Chapter 30, One for Each. Just right, the atmosphere was laden with tension as the onlookers hastily withdrew. Yuan Jun had contemplated numerous scenarios. However, the one he had never foreseen was that Chen Yin had genuinely cultivated a murderous intent. The act of an intern investigator executing a formal investigator transcended mere overreach of authority. It represented a profound challenge regarding capability. Despite any suspicions he might have harbored concerning the two individuals, protocol mandated that he report to 749, who would subsequently appoint a senior investigator to rectify the situation. This was the established protocol. This young man was audaciously flouting the rules. Chapter 31. Task accomplished. Punishment as paid leave? My lord, the agents from 749 have breached our defenses. Where are those two inept fools? Yuan Jun. Hurry, escape through the back door. The Wang family realized that succumbing to 749 would herald catastrophe, and their only hope lay in a hasty retreat. Dad, what on earth is happening? Aren't the agents from 749 supposed to be on our side? Wang Xiu burst in, breathless. Spare me the questions. We must flee. The Wang family hastily navigated towards the rear exit, bracing themselves for their escape. There, they encountered a slender, icy girl standing in silence, her countenance devoid of emotion, her gaze fixed upon them. Chapter 32. The Birth of Martial Saints, Unleashing Power. Heavenly Opening Dormitory 304. Chen Yin, I can hardly fathom that you are on a mission alongside that frosty queen residing next door. Yi Yaya exclaimed, her astonishment palpable. Clad in a fashionable hoodie, she emanated a vibrant and cheerful essence. Was it like collaborating with her? Is she challenging to engage with? I perceive her to possess greater capabilities than you. She is formidable and speaks sparingly. Unable to restrain herself, Yaya playfully delivered a light kick to Chen Yin's chest, her bare foot making contact. How dare you suggest that I am inferior to the Ice Queen? Chapter 33. Unearthing Relics? Trouble right from the start in his mind. The essence of the martial saint resembled a general commanding vast legions, extinguishing the oppressive aura of carnage. As the forces engaged in battle, Chen Yin found himself bleeding from his mouth and nose. Was this merely the extent of his injuries? The old gentleman, standing a short distance from Chen Yin, estimated that he would not endure beyond 2 breaths before succumbing to a grievous hemorrhage necessitating immediate medical intervention. Yet, 20 breaths had elapsed, and he remained steadfast. The martial saint's prowess was unmatched. Each strike had the potential to obliterate thousands. Chapter 34. We have unearthed it, we must depart. It is of utmost importance. Chen Yin readily acquiesced, delving into the submerged ruins, encountering extraordinary beings for potential encounters, and perhaps unearthing treasures and secrets were all enticing prospects that called to us. Very well, Chen Yin, when the exploration team discovers something of value, you must claim a greater share for yourself. Are you not the proprietor of the exploration team? Indeed, our family has been blessed by your endeavors. Thus the rewards should undoubtedly reflect your contributions. Chen Yin, did your father impart that wisdom to you? No, it is my own sentiment. Chapter 35. The Dragon Palace? The resurrected Flood Dragon. A remarkable discovery has been made. Under the cloak of night, auspicious tidings returned. Chun Yin plunged into the abyss of the sea to ascertain the circumstances. With an innate talent that allowed him to navigate the waters with unparalleled grace, swimming became an effortless endeavor, akin to that of a true aquatic creature. At the ocean's depths, a square edifice of jade-white stone materialized before him, intricately adorned with a myriad of complex engravings, nestled within the silt. A gathering of eager onlookers surrounded the sight, their hearts alight with anticipation. The construction of such a magnificent structure beneath the waves is a feat beyond the capabilities of even our most advanced civilization. Chapter 36. The Emergence of the Dragon Maiden. Confrontation with the cult of the malevolent deity Flea. The rest were instantly paralyzed by terror, disregarding Chun Yin as they frantically sought escape. Fortunately, the two flood dragons did not pursue them. Rather, they charged directly towards a coffin, allowing the others to evade capture. Captain, Chun Yin remains inside. We cannot afford to dwell on that. Those two dragons are now fully awakened. Remaining here guarantees our demise. Quickly return to the ship. It is far wiser to preserve our lives than to revel in riches without them. Within the confines of the narrow dragon crystal coffin, Chun Yin could do naught but lie sideways beside the woman. Chapter 37. Confronting the cult of the malevolent deity, the most perilous struggle. I did not foresee such a swift reaction. The figure clad in black robes cast a glance at Chun Yin, enshrouded in crimson, a malevolent grin playing upon his lips. The others, in a frenzied rush, surged toward Chun Yin. Almost 20 figures encircled him, ceaselessly assaulting the sanguine barrier. Chun Yin had not anticipated such a development. It seemed that the petite dragon maiden had spoken the truth. Indeed, a tempest of carnage was on the verge of erupting, and he had been ensnared within it. Despite the blood barrier withstanding relentless assaults, they remained incapable of breaching it. Chapter 38. Farewell to the Dragon Maiden. Absorbing true dragon blood death held no terror for those audacious enough to welcome the might of the malevolent deity. Thus, in the final moments of his existence, the man cloaked in black neither pleaded for clemency nor revealed any trace of fear or grief. Instead, a sardonic smile graced his lips. The blood spikes that impaled his form ignited with an ominous fire. What transpires? Boom! In an instant, the man's head detonated, reminiscent of a watermelon rigged with explosives. Without delay, a conflagration erupted from within his very being. Chapter 39. Chun Yin, I bestowed upon you an opportunity. Are you well? The dragon maiden's eyes fluttered in astonishment. This individual regained consciousness with remarkable swiftness, after flawlessly assimilating the essence of true dragon blood. Chun Yin not only extinguished the tumultuous fire within, but also retained a measure of surplus dragon power. Although this power was ephemeral, it could be wielded to his advantage. Stand aside. Chun Yin positioned himself protectively in front of the dragon maiden. Blood flowed like a blade, as his gaze swept indifferently over the throng below. Who is this person? I do not recognize him. Chapter 40. Grandmother, Star-Plucking Tower, Ningming. Having vanquished numerous foes, 749 indeed possesses significant authority. Behold, is that not the illustrious whirlwind Leg Zhou Hong? And the lady accompanying him, what was her name? It has come to me, the Rainbow Spear Sanya. As a contingent entered the Dragon Palace, the atmosphere once again grew taut with tension. The Xingxian realm, Qingguang realm, Riyao realm. The assembled guests were all proficient practitioners of the 4th to 6th realms, seasoned veterans of their art. Chun Yin, retreat with her. 749, do not. Chapter 41. Members of the Genius Club, 8th realm powerhouses take action. Li Bai, a figure enveloped in whispers and legends, captivates the public's imagination. The Star-Plucking Tower. This was the second occasion on which Chun Yin encountered that name. He turned to Zhou Hong and inquired, what precisely is this organization? Typically, they maintain a distance from the affairs of the spiritual energy realm. However, when they choose to intervene, it is for matters of great significance. Presently, the Star-Plucking Pavilion is home to 6 disciples, each an extraordinary talent of this world. And who is Li Bai? What is it about his name that evokes such silence among them? Chapter 42. The Contest of Geniuses commences. Chun Yin earns special merit in the ethereal expanse above. A figure clad in white stood with his hands elegantly clasped behind his back. Despite his lofty perch, his gaze ascended even higher, as he surveyed those gathered below with an air of aloofness. Indeed, he did not lower his sight, but regarded all present with an air of superiority. Third senior brother Ning Meng remarked with a slight grimace. Her third senior brother possessed numerous commendable traits. However, he was excessively enamored with theatrics, perpetually looking down upon others with disdain. "Who are you?" Zhang Sansi inquired, lifting his gaze. "Zhang Sansi, you were merely a vanquished opponent at the Genius Assembly years past." Chapter 43. Chun Yin, I can master sword flying in a day. Well then, if I may express this, sister Ye, I implore you not to strike me. I assure you, I am not inclined to do so. I perceive that the deputy director might be evaluating her prospective son-in-law. Are you yearning to be reborn at this very moment? Yi Yaya administered a vigorous reprimand to Xie Yi. Meanwhile, Zhang Xian wore a frown. Lin, this predicament has become intricate. Chun Yin is presently in the zenith of his youth. Numerous female investigators may have set their sights upon him, thereby heightening your competitive pressure. We are merely. Chapter 44. The Demons of the Footbath Center. At this moment, Chun Yin had become the center of attention for the entire assembly. Should his grand claims remain unfulfilled, he would not only forfeit 200 contribution points, but also become the subject of ridicule among all. Chun Yin ascended upon his flying sword. As he infused it with spiritual energy, the sword ascended like a brilliant firework. Its velocity was breathtaking. Chun Yin's flying sword carved an erratic S-curve through the air, perilously close to colliding with the wall. What a spectacle indeed. The next time you boast, remember to prepare a script. Chapter 45. What brings you here? To kill. Before Chun Yin, 3 flamboyantly attired figures morphed into demons. Although they maintained human forms, their skin resembled decayed bark, and their features were devoid of any beauty. These 3 demons were referred to as the Demonesses. These malevolent beings drew their power from the consumption of human vitality, leaving the men who had frequented this establishment utterly weakened and, in some instances, gravely ill. They too were enveloped in profound astonishment. Why is this human not in a deep slumber? How could this be conceivable? At that moment. Chapter 46. Now, you are left with only 1 disciple kill. Those 2 succinct and frigid words sent a violent tremor through the gatekeeper disciple. What audacity! What temerity! Madman, you truly underestimate Yuzhu Mountain. Chun Yin summoned forth his bloodied hand, effortlessly propelling the gatekeeper disciple through the air with a single, forceful slap. Indeed, I do not hold him in high esteem. Chun Yin strode with unwavering confidence into the inner sanctum of Yuzhu Mountain. The disciples engaged in their cultivation, sensing the disturbance, hastened to inform their elders. Chapter 47. The Battle of Talents. First Clash. Chun Yin's sudden assault was both rapid and unforeseen. In an instant, he wore a smile. In the next, he unleashed a torrent of violence, an event no one had anticipated. Even the head of Yuzhu was caught off guard, unable to intervene in time. When he finally regained his composure, fury enveloped him. You insolent wretch! Forgive me. I inadvertently ended your disciple's life. I have proffered my apology. What more do you seek? Chun Yin inquired. Yuzhu's expression oscillated between hues of blue and red, his beard bristling with indignation. What troubles you, elder? Is an apology insufficient to rectify a transgression? Chapter 48. Am I qualified now? Receiving a direct blow, Wei Shujin collapsed in a lifeless heap. The harrowing spectacle of his demise elicited screams and gasps from numerous female disciples, their eyes wide with incredulity. Senior brother Wei, no. How could this? This is inconceivable. The esteemed Wei Shujin, the renowned wind chaser sword, the graceful and venerated senior brother, had simply perished. In that instant, Chun Yin seized his rank, ascending to 95. Chapter 49. Mission Failure. Annihilated by a monster, am I now deemed worthy? Chun Yin surveyed the gathered assembly, his tone devoid of concern. Worthy indeed. Then it is resolved that those 3 shall be the selected combatants. With that, Chun Yin relinquished his hold. The man with the pompadour regained his liberty, his body taut with tension as he glowered at Chun Yin, clearly displeased. You would do well to remain silent. I fear I might not restrain myself from slaying you. His words faltered in his throat, left unspoken. Chapter 50. Chun Yin. What Axie is severely injured. The cages in all four directions swung wide open. For ebony lions surged forth. Towering 3 meters high and measuring 5 meters in length, their size was comparable to that of a large truck. All present huddled together, their backs pressed against one another, their faces drained of color. At that moment, a figure dashed forward. It was none other than Chun Yin. The practitioners from Sakura country turned their gazes, bracing themselves for the unfolding spectacle. That individual actually dared to take the initiative and court danger. He had won a match, it is likely. Chapter 51. Acquiring new sequence ability, Blood Flame, Chun Yin released the bowstring. The arrow was dispatched with lethal precision. The floral shirt met the full force of the Blood Moon Great Bow, disintegrating instantly, reduced to naught but a mere smear of flesh. The remaining onlookers were paralyzed with dread, unable to summon even a single counterattack. One individual collapsed to the ground, kneeling in despair. I shall bark like a dog. Woof, 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 woof. Spare me. Not deterred, Chun Yin advanced and plunged a dagger into his chest. You all wish to obliterate my esteemed summer spirit users. Do you presume I shall grant you mercy? Chapter 52. The wine is quite good. Chun Yin's primary target was, of course, the fiery demon bird circling above. Soaring through the air upon his sword, he descended with remarkable agility. In midair, blood surged forth, transforming into a 6-meter-long blade of crimson. With a resounding crack, he severed the demon bird's wing, sending a cascade of blood spraying across the sky. The demon bird emitted an eerie cry before plummeting to the ground with a thunderous thud. The other 2 investigators, witnessing the spectacle, were utterly astonished. Those are the reinforcements. It can fly. Chapter 53. I did not hear clearly. Whom did you say you desired to eliminate? P.S. Wishing all readers a delightful 2025. Let us establish a noble objective for this year: to compose a work of exceptional quality. The venue descended into an eerie silence. No one dared to utter a syllable. These capitalists, who were accustomed to a life of excess and authority, felt their hearts race at that moment. There was no room for mercy in this unforgiving atmosphere. It was their inaugural encounter with such a formidable investigator, numbered 749. Chun Yin rose and addressed the assembly. I am in the Harbor District, and here my word reigns supreme. Do you comprehend? Chapter 54. The Beast Greedy Wolf. Chun Yin sighed. I initially intended merely to interrogate you, yet you aspire to slay a 749 investigator? Your audacity is remarkable, Huang Jintian. His tone grew markedly more intense. Even if you have not yet committed any transgressions, this action will prove to be a grave offense. No, I implore you, do not take my life. I am willing to comply with any request you may have. Huang Jintian pleaded in desperation, kneeling before him. I may spare your existence, but you must now seek redemption. As I previously stated, aiding 749 in the apprehension of monsters constitutes a significant merit. Chun Yin raised his. Chapter 55. Brother Chun, there's trouble. Chun Yin's renown had ascended to great heights in the Harbor District. The mere utterance of the name blood-soaked butcher, Chun Yin, could evoke tears from even the youngest child. Mischievous youngsters were cautioned by their parents. Should they misbehave, they would be sent to the blood-soaked butcher for a lesson in obedience. Nevertheless, Chun Yin observed that such exemplary public order was not inherently a positive phenomenon, as it left no adversaries to vanquish. One day, Chun Yin reclined on the office sofa, lost in slumber, while Xie Yi toiled at his desk with his mouth bound in silence. If only his lips were unsealed. Chapter 56. The frantic New Year's Eve. Chun Yin hastened to the scene of the incident. Fortunately, it was merely a chain collision of vehicles, and no one sustained injuries. However, the perpetrator had fled. This was utterly intolerable. He promptly mounted his flying sword in pursuit, his gaze sweeping across the horizon, soon identifying 2 figures weaving through the towering edifices. If they dare to escape on my territory, what recourse do I have? Chun Yin alighted upon the rooftop of a skyscraper, strategically obstructing the path of the two. Ning Ming rolled up her sleeves, bracing herself for a confrontation, only to realize that the adversaries were, in fact, acquaintances. Chapter 57. Utter another word, and I shall not hesitate to extinguish your existence. Chun Yin reacted with remarkable agility, cradling Qian Long in his right arm, the blood intertwining with the billboard as he utilized it to ascend into the sky. He alighted upon his flying sword, momentarily evading the imminent danger. Is the outer god cult? Chun Yin activated his earpiece. Lao Ya, what is the status of your situation? Nothing grave thus far. Yi clung to the facade of a towering skyscraper, employing electromagnetic force. Her gaze fixed upon the chaotic scene below, which resembled a nightmarish hellscape, her heart quaking with trepidation. What on earth is transpiring? How has it spiraled into such chaos? Chapter 58. A solitary arrow shatters. The formation collapses. Pinned to the ground by Chun Yin, Su Song felt an icy dread permeate his being, rendering him unable to articulate a single word. He sensed that should he venture to utter even the faintest syllable, Chun Yin would not hesitate to unleash lethal force. Yi contemplated to herself. This is the true essence of Chun Yin. Light-hearted banter and laughter shared among friends are one thing. Yet in moments of peril, he ensures that one comprehends the origin of the epithet Bloodhand Butcher. Having a companion of his caliber instills an unwavering sense of reliability and security, for he remains steadfast when it matters most, in stark contrast to Su. Chapter 59. Activation of space-based weapons. The final 2 minutes. Ha. At this moment, no force can hinder our advancement. At the heart of the flame giant, the priest of the outer god cult erupted into maniacal laughter. Demonic flame, evil god sequence 015, Madfire Giant Scarlet. This was a summoning incantation. By employing himself as a vessel, he beckoned forth the malevolent deity Scarlet, one capable of consuming the essence of all surrounding devotees to infinitely amplify his own might. Therefore, they convened at the site of the largest gathering on New Year's Eve. Brace for demise. Chapter 60. The second divine aspect. The dragon god. Chun Yin was mentally prepared for this eventuality. These psychologically unstable outer god cultists exhibited a penchant for dramatics in the face of their impending doom. Greedy Wolf. In the next moment, Greedy Wolf sank his fangs into the priest's neck. As expected, the tumultuous flames within him began to swell with alarming rapidity, poised to erupt. Consume him. Greedy Wolf regarded the severed neck as a goblet, voraciously slurping, effectively devouring all the chaotic flame energy contained within. Furthermore, he remained completely unscathed by any consequences. Chapter 61. You are indeed unworthy. The heavens grew dim, and a gentle drizzle began to descend, its onset unnoticed. Are you still human? Chun Yin, the valiant figure who had subdued the great calamity, had barely eluded peril when confronted with this accusatory inquiry. Indeed, the matter at hand was one of utmost safety. Should Chun Yin become tainted and metamorphose into a cultist of the outer gods, it could precipitate disastrous outcomes, prompting Wei Tianhu to voice his concern. Remain still. Allow me to examine your being. Wei Tianhu, exuding an air of authority, issued a decisive command to Chun Yin. Chapter 62. The gift of the martial saint. The gift bestowed by the martial saint ignited a fervor in Chun Yin's heart, brimming with anticipation for something extraordinary. Before him, Chu Wu Wang extended his hand, unveiling an ebony pill that exuded a potent fragrance, suffused with an overwhelming aura. It felt as if a mighty torrent were surging toward him. This is the martial origin body refining pill. As one revered as the martial saint, I naturally pursue the path of martial prowess and the cultivation of the physical form. Unlike those who depend on ostentatious techniques, it is fundamentally about dismantling myriad laws through sheer strength. Upon ingestion of this pill, it will autonomously refine the meridians within your body. Chapter 63. Heal yourself first. Then let me see. Upon returning to room 749, Chun Yin diligently completed his task report. Shortly thereafter, an announcement reverberated through the air. Investigator Chun Yin has heroically salvaged thousands of lives. earning a distinguished merit. Contribution points, 200. The forum of Bureau 749 erupted with fervor. He is but a D-class investigator and has already garnered his second distinguished merit. Is this even just? Chen Yin, the poet? Being part of the same cohort leaves me feeling profoundly inadequate. Let us not forget, he is publicly recognized as the disciple of the martial saint. Perhaps we ought to refrain from making comparisons. Chapter 64. The use of knife to kill. A single blow to vanquish the demon bird. The corpulent man collapsed to the ground, emitting a lamentation akin to that of a slaughtered swine. After a fleeting moment of astonishment, the others began to vehemently rebuke him. How could you inflict harm upon your own comrade? Indeed, even if your words are harsh, resorting to violence is unacceptable. We are already at a disadvantage, and now we have lost our combat capability. Do you desire for our mission to be thwarted? In an instant, Chun Yin became the focus of their ire. They, of course, were unfamiliar with Chun Yin, nor were they aware. Chapter 65. The greedy wolf, consuming slowly, comprehend? Blood strength, permanently 6, with a singular strike. Chun Yin annihilated the 9-headed demon bird, reducing it to mere fragments. A crimson umbrella provided him shelter as he traversed alongside Lu Lin through the deluge of blood, his frigid, indifferent gaze exuding an icy menace. The awe-inspiring spectacle rendered all present into a state of stunned silence. What has transpired? The 9-headed demon bird was vanquished in an instant by him. Is he even human? Unthinkable, unthinkable. Some clasped their heads in disbelief, utterly overwhelmed. Chapter 66. Into the painting. As Lu Lin emerged from her profound despair, Chen Yin promptly inquired about her predicament. He gleaned vital information. She had been ensnared within a painting entitled Village and Monster. All the missing individuals had been absorbed into the artwork, leaving her as the sole survivor, relentlessly pursued by a titanic creature reminiscent of Godzilla. She possessed no knowledge of how to extricate herself from the painting. Very well. I comprehend the situation, Chun Yin declared. Once we effect our escape, I shall solicit assistance from the Bureau and hasten to your rescue with utmost urgency. Please endure as best as you can. Chapter 67. The power of the martial saint. Faced with an absence of immediate solutions, Chen Yin found himself compelled to retreat for the moment. The realm portrayed within the painting is surprisingly constricted, encircled by ethereal barriers, with the sole legitimate space for movement being this diminutive village. Regardless of where one attempts to escape, the creature unfailingly identifies its quarry. Suddenly, a chilling hand emerged from the dense fog, unexpectedly drawing Chun Yin behind a wooden cabin. Lu Lin, before Chen Yin could articulate a word, a layer of ice enveloped his form. Only when the creature's voice receded into the distance did the frost gradually dissipate. Chapter 68. Chun Yin, containment? Apologies. The two other investigators stood motionless, their minds engulfed in a tempest of chaotic thoughts. They had assumed the young man was doomed. Yet, not only was he unscathed, but he had also rescued another girl. What the senior investigator failed to accomplish, he achieved with remarkable prowess. We must depart swiftly. This individual is a notorious fiend from the 10,000 Demons Pavilion, exceedingly perilous. The painting specter bore a grim countenance, fists clenched tightly, with veins protruding beneath his skin, embodying an uncontrollable rage reminiscent of a volcano on the verge of eruption. Chapter 69. The return to 749, a breakthrough in the realm, ascending beyond the skies. As the two emerged, they fortuitously encountered Zheng Xian and Lu Lin. Zheng Xian rushed forward, enveloping the doll-like Lu Lin in a tight embrace. You have worried me to death, my dear child. Are you well? After a series of concerned inquiries, Zheng Xian became acquainted with the entire tale. Had it not been for Chun Yin, Lu Lin might have encountered a dire fate. To her astonishment, Lu Lin's discernment proved remarkable during their initial encounter. He had conveyed a desire for camaraderie, and it now appeared that this alliance was indeed of immeasurable worth. Chapter 70. The commencement of martial saint training. Is Chun Yin's flesh truly so resilient? This discussion group consisted of 3 individuals, Chu Wuwang, Ning Ming, and Chun Yin. Chu Wuwang. Chun Yin, you audacious youth. by forcefully harnessing my strength. I fear your physique may be on the brink of collapse. Chen Yin, haha, fortunately, I owe it all to the legacy bestowed upon me by my master. Ning Ming, I had initially planned to escort you to the 100 Forging Sect for training tomorrow, but given your injuries, it appears the trip will be cancelled. I shall refrain from attending as well. Chu Wu Wang, Ning Ming, are you truly not going? Ning Ming, if this scoundrel is not attending, why should I? You do not presume that I am particularly eager to train alongside you, do you? Chapter 71. Chen Yin. Do not underestimate me, Chen Yin. Accompany me. You shall train in new martial techniques alongside Ning Ming. Chu Wuwang guided them towards the rear mountain of the 100 Forging Sect. Having mastered the Inch Force, I shall now impart to you a leg technique known as Whip Thunder. First, allow me to illustrate its practical application. A majestic mountain loomed a few hundred meters ahead, adorned with a grand waterfall that cascaded before it. No sooner had Chu Wuwang concluded his words than the earth beneath him erupted, and he vanished from sight. In the blink of an eye, a disturbance rippled through the waterfall, causing the water to abruptly halt its descent. Chapter 72. The Demonic Night Assault on the Camp. Chen Yin reveals his true self. Chen Yin embarked on a life of indulgence, relying on others to capture monsters for him to vanquish, effortlessly reaping the rewards while his blood intensity ascended steadily. As the afternoon waned, a new wave of divine gifts emerged. 1. Blood intensity increased by 3. 2. The spiritual orifices were instantly filled to their maximum capacity, totaling 10. 3. The execution chain of Aoer can now ensnare even mightier adversaries. The third option, enhancing one's own skill sequence, stands out as the most prudent choice. This formidable single-target control skill possesses the capacity to restrain more powerful foes. Chapter 73. Do you not delight in consuming humans? The morale among the group soared, bolstered by the presence of a fifth-tier leader, rendering it relatively effortless to confront these lower-tier demons. Yet, unbeknownst to them, a wisp of ethereal purple mist had already enveloped the vicinity of their camp, diminishing visibility to less than 2 meters, leaving all feeling ensnared in a misty illusion reminiscent of the mist technique from Naruto. Exercise caution. These demons are being orchestrated to assault us, and the mastermind behind this is exceedingly formidable. The leader bellowed, "Blast it! I'm unable to perceive anything. Everyone, reinforce your formation and draw close for mutual protection." Chapter 74. Invitation to the Armament Conference. Effect of Blood Hunt Feast activated. Blood Strength 7. Through this recent endeavor of vanquishing monsters, Chen Yin experienced an astonishing enhancement of nearly 20 in blood strength, thus acquiring 2 opportunities for divine bestowal. The voracious wolf had commenced its feast upon the carcass of the demon, and the barrier that had ensnared the group finally dissipated. Those present were left in a state of utter astonishment. I must be hallucinating. Where did that wolf emerge from? Why did it suddenly come to Chen Yin's aid? Its combat prowess is formidable. That beast must be responding to. Chapter 75. The Dragon God Sequence. A new ability? During a moment of respite, Chen Yin summoned the 2 divine bestowals he had accumulated. Upon activation of the first, 3 options materialized before him. 1. Blood Strength 3. 2. Acquire a random slaughter sequence ability 3. Acquire a random Dragon God sequence ability. What? The options even included the possibility of obtaining a Dragon God ability. This revelation filled Chen Yin with immense astonishment. Previously, through the vampire bloodline's power, he had unwittingly encountered a glitch that awakened the Dragon God after consuming the blood of the little dragon girl. Chapter 76. Ancient Texts of Dragons in the Command Center of the 9 Heavens. The resonant roar of the dragon echoed as Senior Chu vanquished all malevolent forces in the vicinity. The question arose, why did the Saint Warrior arrive to assist us? 749. It is whispered that his purpose was to deliver a grave admonition to Chen Yin concerning the Demon Palace, thereby safeguarding his disciple from any unscrupulous individuals. In essence, reinforcements were deemed unnecessary. The 749 Bureau found itself engulfed in a state of bewilderment, never anticipating such an unexpected boon from Chen Yin. Ordinarily, It would be no trifling matter to summon a saint to intervene. Chapter 77. The commencement of the Armament Conference. The Armament Conference, convened at the esteemed Armament Grave Mountain, occurs once every 3 years. It draws forth youthful talents from every corner of the globe. The rationale is straightforward. The weaponry crafted at the Armament Grave is celebrated worldwide for its unmatched excellence, and those endowed with the requisite skill may participate without restraint. After bidding farewell to Ning Meng, Chun Yin summoned Yaya and Xie Yi, eager to expand their horizons. "Chun Yin, you have finally arrived. Let's make haste," exclaimed Yaya, her excitement palpable. It is rumored that all prominent sects have dispatched their young prodigies to compete for the weapons, igniting a considerable commotion. Ordinary individuals cannot procure an invitation, yet I am fortunate to accompany you. Chapter 78. Chun Yin, is someone attempting to flaunt their prowess before me? A comment from Chu Wuwang ignited a tumultuous discourse. Has his disciple also arrived? Merely proficient in physical combat, what need does he have for seizing weapons? Truly, what a squandering of resources. Who is this disciple of his? I am eager to witness the extraordinary accomplishments he may unveil. During the live broadcast, the initial competitors swiftly crossed the finish line, and as time elapsed, others began to trickle in. Yet, it was not until the final 10 minutes that Chun Yin made his entrance, arriving almost precisely on cue. Chapter 79. What is amiss with allowing a girl to lead the way? The sheer force of this strike unexpectedly caused the entire wind domain to reverse. Such strength! How had I failed to recognize this individual's true prowess before? The other competitors experienced a wave of relief. Seizing this moment, they surged toward the finish line. The pallid youth stood in a stupor, gazing at Chun Yin for quite some time. So, he had been masking his abilities all along? Nevertheless, I must convey my gratitude to this individual. Otherwise, my initial descent from the mountain would have culminated in sheer humiliation. He hastened forward. Chapter 80. He is a disciple of the martial saint. The youth, with a pallid complexion, did not foresee the humiliation that awaited him upon his initial descent from the mountain. Furthermore, he found himself utterly speechless, unable to formulate a retort. From the woman's tone, it was evident that she must be the junior sister of Yunongzhou. The regulations stipulated that each participant was permitted to claim but a single weapon, with no constraints against exploiting any loopholes. How infuriating! He was immediately tempted to rush forward and reclaim his sword. Yet as he drew near, he witnessed Li Qingcheng extending a finger into the void. Like a dragonfly gliding over water, the air shimmered. The pale-faced youth was abruptly repelled, staggering several steps before he managed to regain his composure. Chapter 81. The emergence of celestial weapons. The contest commences. Disciple of the martial saint. Yunongzhou's declaration resonated throughout the assembly, leaving the audience in a state of astonishment. A disciple of the martial saint? No wonder this individual is so formidable. Whispers of disbelief circulated among the onlookers. I have often heard tales of his prowess, claiming he has vanquished formidable foes across borders. I assumed it was mere exaggeration. Observing his true demeanor today, I can only conclude, unfathomable. The pallid youth regarded Chun Yin in awe, never anticipating that this figure was the disciple of Chu Wuwang. Previously, he had shrouded his capabilities in secrecy. Chapter 82. The domain unfolds. Infinite slaughter realm. As the proclamation echoed, a surge of individuals rushed towards the altar. To qualify for the contest, one must endure for a quarter of an hour upon the altar. The spectators outside ignited fervent discussions regarding the impending competition. Who do you believe will ultimately claim the celestial weapons? I hold the view that martial saint disciple Chun Yin radiates brilliance. He appears to possess a formidable chance. However, let us not overlook Li Qingcheng, who did not fully exert his strength earlier. He stands at the pinnacle of the breaking sky realm, towering over that youth by half a realm. Furthermore, we must consider the sword saint. Chapter 83. I may err countless times, but you can only err once. The heavens embody the Qian, while the earth embodies the Koan. Commence. Li Qingcheng raised 2 fingers and stepped onto the Bagua formation, instantly enveloping Chun Yin within its confines. Adorned in a flowing azure robe, He gazed down with an air of superiority and declared calmly, "In this formation, I am the sovereign of heaven and earth." Oh! Chen Yin arched an eyebrow, appearing unfazed. Suddenly, the Jin position of the formation beneath his feet radiated with brilliance. The Jin position corresponds to the mountain. Li Qingcheng lifted his fingers and proclaimed, "Earthquake," as his voice reverberated. Chapter 84. Who informed you that I was employing my utmost strength? The instant Li Qingcheng's protective artifact was activated, it signified his defeat. A collective gasp reverberated through the crowd. Some even instinctively rubbed their eyes, questioning the accuracy of their own perception. Chen Yin has emerged victorious. In a scenario where he was nearly an entire realm beneath, achieving triumph with a solitary strike? Surely I must be mistaken. The female disciple turned ashen, covering her mouth in disbelief, murmuring, "How could this be the result? It is inconceivable. How could my senior brother succumb? Did I not proclaim? This is splendid news." Chapter 85. Breaking through the bottleneck, half a step to star radiance. What did you say? Yu Nongzhou was bewildered, convinced that Chen Yin was merely safeguarding his pride. Chen Yin lifted 2 fingers. Release. As the words escaped his lips, circular artifacts soared from his hands and feet, settling into his grasp. Yu Nongzhou narrowed his eyes slightly. Were those? With a smile, Chen Yin loosened his hold. The artifacts plummeted to the ground, generating a resounding crash. A dent was etched into the earth. Weight-bearing artifacts. Yu Nongzhou's pupils expanded in astonishment. Chapter 86. The Dragon's Roar at 9 Heavens. Yu Nongzhou planted 1 foot firmly and leaped into the air. With both hands raised high, he wielded a long blade. In an instant, a howling tempest surged forth, sweeping up sand and stone, as an unparalleled and terrifying blade intent coalesced. The blade intent enveloped the elevated sword, extending its reach by several dozen meters. The intangible blade aura resembled a sword poised to pierce the heavens. What manner sword technique is this? My blade quivers uncontrollably. Likewise, by heavens. Steady it. The elder referee furrowed his brow. Chapter 87. The unity of man and blade. I hereby proclaim that the ultimate victor of the Divine Weapon Conference is none other than Chen Yin. As the elder referee's voice resonated loudly, jubilant cheers reverberated across the mountains and valleys. Chen Yin has justly triumphed with his unparalleled swordsmanship. This divine blade is truly destined to be his. It is a remarkable weapon, perfectly complemented by a worthy talent. Approaching the altar, where the blade lay ensconced in the center of a crimson pool, its elongated form shimmered with a deep, dark red hue, while the edge emanated a subtle, chilling glow. He seized the obsidian hilt with a single hand, and the aura of bloodlust morphed into a myriad of ethereal spirits, ascending towards the heavens. Chapter 88. Weapon Skill. Infernal Bloodthirst Formation. Over 10 hours of spirit summoning revealed a deep-seated affinity between the weapon and its master, reminiscent of soulmates who encounter one another too late, necessitating additional time together. The elderly man hastily exited the cave, stepping into the open air. Tang Hong was taken aback. His father, at the venerable age of 120, rarely exhibited such exuberance. Anxiously, he approached to inquire, "Father, how fares Chen Yin spirit summoning?" Third stage, unity of man and blade. The old gentleman replied with a hearty chuckle. What? Tang Hong felt a surge of emotions within. Chapter 89. A new task, preparing for departure. The 749 Bureau. Chen Yin has made a triumphant return. This extraordinary proclamation ignited a fervor of exhilaration among the investigators within the Bureau. Indeed, both Li Qingcheng and Yu Nongzhou are celebrated prodigies in the domain of spiritual energy. Vanquishing them would undoubtedly propel one's renown to celestial heights. In the wake of this confrontation, Chen Yin has effortlessly risen to the esteemed status of a legendary figure within the Bureau. Even after becoming a disciple of the martial sage, one does not forget the 749 Bureau. Ah, Haji Chun, you mischievous scamp. Chen Yin's return was greeted with unparalleled enthusiasm. Chapter 90. Chen Yin. Am I being manipulated? The subsequent day, at the assembly point of the station, Chen Yin Lu Lin, and 3 other male companions had convened. The clock struck 8, yet Jiang Mei was still absent. An unsettling feeling began to permeate the hearts of the male team members. They had long been aware of Chun Yin's infamous title, the Bloodhand Butcher. Though he exhibited a cheerful demeanor among friends, he was reputed to slay without a moment's hesitation. Consequently, they had arrived a half-hour early to bide their time. Little did they anticipate that the lady would dare to arrive late. Chapter 91. It has been some time since I last killed. I find myself feeling a bit restless. Wushan sect, nestled within the nearby woodlands. This unassuming sect awaited their presence. Chun Yin and his companions embarked on a half-hour trek, ascending numerous stone steps before finally arriving at their destination. Upon their entrance, they were met with a courtyard scattered with uncollected fallen leaves. Welcome, esteemed investigators of the 749 Bureau. An elderly man with squinting eyes approached them, his demeanor exuding warmth and hospitality. I am the leader of the Wushan sect. Please forgive the seclusion of our location. Chun Yin responded with a smile. The distance is of no consequence, yet I sincerely hope this is not a sanctuary for heretics. Chapter 92. Chun Yin, you are enveloped by my presence. The final person cast a beseeching look at Chun Yin. Why do you gaze upon me? It is time for our meal. Captain, I find myself unworthy of partaking in this meal, after an extensive quest yielding no discovery of any demon beasts. The burden of so many souls, unable to find repose, weighs heavily upon my conscience. With that, he struck his fist upon the table, causing the bowls to tremble. You indeed possess a profound sense of responsibility. Captain, I shall return and diligently arrange today's clues, endeavoring to locate the demon beasts with utmost urgency. With that proclamation, he made a timely departure. Only Chun Yin remained at the dining table. Chapter 93. Blood Moon Great Bout 2000. The celestial soldiers of Corpse Mountain Blood Sea faced their inaugural true battle. A crimson barrier enveloped all within its grasp. Was Chun Yin ensnared? No, it was I who ensnared you. The equilibrium of power shifted dramatically in an instant. Soon, those devotees channeling their energy perceived an anomaly. The blood coursing through their veins began to flow uncontrollably outward. My blood. What is transpiring? Blood seeped from the nostrils, ears, and even ruptured capillaries. A multitude of crimson droplets emerged from their bodies. Chapter 94. Receiving the mission from the reverse world, Ning Meng arrives to engage. Soon, Chun Yin had dispatched all the disciples of the Wushan sect. Ultimately, only the compassionate leader remained. He retreated incessantly, his weathered visage stripped of any semblance of kindness, replaced solely by dread. What he had perceived as a golden opportunity to ensnare Chun Yin, a significant achievement, had morphed into a waking nightmare. This young man possessed an unfathomable power. If he cannot be harnessed by the outer god cult, then even at the expense of my own life, I must devise a means to obliterate him entirely. I yield. Chapter 95. The world is vast. I wish to explore. That girl possesses an insatiable appetite. Indeed, I have never encountered anyone with such a ferocious hunger. Is it possible that she remains impervious to weight gain? Hush! Lower your voice. We mustn't let the patrons overhear. The whispers of the staff reached Chun Yin's ears, prompting him to jest. They speak of you, connoisseur of cuisine. I have asserted previously that it is entirely natural for a dragon to exhibit such a substantial appetite. As Ning Meng savored her milk tea, she could not help but reminisce that descending the mountain for a meal was far more delightful. None of her senior brothers and sisters at the star-picking tower possessed culinary skills. If only Chun Yin were to... Chapter 96. The mission commences. Chun Yin encounters a handsome youth. A day had elapsed, following the departure of Ning Meng and her companion. Chun Yin was prepared to embark on a new reverse world instance. Countdown complete. The grand survival mission, 10 days in the abyss, is about to commence. Would you like to teleport immediately? Indeed, his vision was engulfed in chaos. When clarity returned, Chun Yin surveyed his surroundings. The entire mission arena unfolded as an expansive plain. The sky bore the distinctive gray haze characteristic of the reverse world. The atmosphere appeared murky, and patches of desolate blackened grass scattered across the ground, shrouding the scene in an apocalyptic ambience. Chapter 97. Chunyin, my affection lies solely with women. The solitary level 3 stronghold had disappeared. The others dispersed in a frenzy, eager to compete for the coveted level 2 strongholds. There existed merely 3 such strongholds, each equally desired, yet capable of accommodating only 10 individuals. After all, no one wished to impose the relentless assault of additional monsters upon a novice. Despite the pretty boy's recent expulsion from the level 3 stronghold, he continued to attract attention at the level 2 strongholds. "Hey, I'm addressing you. Come hither." A rather unsavory-looking rotund man gestured towards the pretty boy. "Our stronghold still." Chapter 98. Why are all the monsters slain? What are you doing? Yi Bailing, filled with curiosity, observed that Chunyin neither succumbed to slumber nor engaged in practice. Instead, he was engrossed in a weathered tome. "None of your concern. Mind your own business," he replied dismissively. TSK. On the very first day, neither of them found rest. Yi Bailing, experiencing a profound sense of anxiety, lay beside a man for the first time, her heart racing uncontrollably. In contrast, Chunyin had become utterly absorbed in the study of talismans, realizing that this intricate art could not be mastered at a mere glance. It necessitated extensive mental rehearsal, a notion that captivated him. As dawn broke. Chapter 99. Is this your reason for resting your leg on me? Brother Chun, you have finally returned. Quickly, secure the stronghold. Upon witnessing Chunyin's safe return, a collective sigh of relief swept through the crowd, as they had feared the loss of a comrade on the very first day. Only half an hour remained until 8 o'clock. Everyone, please present the beast cores you have collected. Let's ascertain whether we can enhance our stronghold. Our team has managed to procure only one. A crestfallen individual revealed a solitary beast core, illustrating that, given their average prowess, even acquiring this singular item was a formidable challenge. Chapter 100. Are you the blood-soaked butcher? As Chunyin passed through the gate, shrouded in crimson mist, he braced himself for a confrontation with a creature. Yet, to his utter disbelief, he was met with the sight of a beast's carcass sprawled in a pool of blood. Alongside the rugged wall, several figures lay slumped, grasping their chests, encircled by vast pools of blood. Had they suffered grievous injuries? Brother, a faint voice beckoned to Chunyin. We have just fought with the beast and are gravely wounded. Could you extend us your assistance? We are prepared to offer a beast core as recompense. Chapter 101. The Lair of the Wolf King, incredibly challenging. On the 4th day of survival, 2 strongholds had already fallen. Current number of survivors, 82. Having persevered for several days, the capabilities of each individual had notably enhanced. Chunyin was no exception. The fervent pursuit of beasts in recent days had bestowed upon him 2 rounds of divine bestowal. The initial round of bestowal yielded naught of notable worth, prompting him to promptly fill all 10 of his spiritual apertures. As a result, Chunyin had ascended from a nascent stage of the breaking sky realm to the intermediate stage. According to his estimations, should he successfully fulfill all tasks in the upcoming 10 days, progressing to the advanced stage should not present a formidable challenge.